Welcome to the return slot of horror, a podcast set in the basement of a video store, a place where your hosts, Mickey and Michelangelo, hang out after hours, enjoy spooky cocktails, and can't seem to wax poetic enough about their love for horror films. We invite you to grab a drink, be careful on the stairs, and join us on our journey through the many subsections of our little video store. And don't be the last one left in the basement at the end of the night.
Welcome, listener, to the return slot
of You're a Real Carpenter's Dream.
She's a real carpenter's dream.
A
Chris,
podcast.
I got this weird look from Chris. No, not registering. Okay.
No.
Continue.
I know. I remember. I just
of horror. You're a wet carpenter's horror dream. A wet carpenter. I mean,
A wet carpenter. Too wet.
I don't know where that came from.
Don't
Whoa.
make it too
Whoa.
wet. A podcast recorded by myself, Michelangelo, and Mickey in the basement of our video store. After hours when the doors are locked, the VHSs are rewound, and the moon is glowing pale blue on a brisk and breezy night. We'd like to hang out in the basement, light a campfire-scented candle, crack open a drink, and discuss our beloved genre horror. Every episode, we invite you to join us for a frosty libation as we discuss a film selected from one of our painstakingly curated subsections of the video store. Mickey, can you elaborate on that for anyone who might not know what the heck it is I'm talking about?
Of course. Well, back in the day before there was streaming and even before there was Blockbuster, there were these independent video stores, and to appease the appetites of the movie nerds like myself and Michelangelo, and I'm sure you, if you're listening, they would fill their shelves with anything they can get their little hands on, especially my personal fave, the video nasties. These mom and pop shops were responsible for taking the horror genre from limited matinees and drive-ins to every rural town and suburb in America. But what really made these video stores special were the people working in the store, curating personalized sections based on their interests and the interests of their patrons. Recommendations based on conversations between two people, not algorithms.
Okay.
Sometimes conversations between three people. Sometimes we get crazy and we do four people. So, here at the return slot, we keep that spirit alive and strong. We hope you enjoy perusing our sections and joining in our conversations.
Now, I'm going to warn the listener. This is a hang out, drink, and talk with friends about horror movies podcast. This podcast is just as much a reflection of ourselves as it is about the movies we talk about. Now, this week, celebrating the changing of the season, we find ourselves with our second film from this section, the Camp Not-A-Voorhees section. Now, I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
One of our guests is really giving
shirt?
me that smile that I can't see your shirt. You're far away on the couch.
Friday 13th.
Yeah. But we're
It's
not
very much a
talking Friday the
Voorhees.
13th. We're
So
talking
I wear the
films-
shirt for
Yeah. We're talking films that like to Friday the 13th camp movies, fun camp slashers, Camp Not-A-Voorhees. Now we are joined. This is a special evening for multiple reasons. Number one, you can watch this on YouTube. Not us necessarily, but the cartoon versions of ourselves created by the masters and artists at Negative Kitty and presented by Red Tower on YouTube.
Thank you, Red Tower.
so-
Thank you, Negative Kitty, for helping us make this happen.
Yeah, and if you're a constant listener and you want some images to go along with this and to see the cartoon versions of ourselves, please head over there and watch it. Now, also, we have not one guest, but two guests.
Right.
Number one, probably the most important person on the podcast, the voice of the podcast, without whom Mickey would be a shell of a man. The amazing actor, writer, comedian, Molly.
Director.
What's up, chicken shits?
Wow, coming in strong. Jeez.
Now, Molly, I understand you like myself. We're coming in hot from the gym, We got our workout on, and then we came down into this hot basement to talk horror movies.
This hot movie.
This hot movie. So hot.
Thank you for being here. And of course, what podcast would be complete without my very ursine, beautiful friend, real expert in all things.
Go ahead.
I don't even
have to cut this out.
Wow.
You're gonna. I don't even want to broach the subject yet. But he's an expert in some of the themes that are layered, very sophisticated, very sophisticatedly. That's not a word. Tonight's film is very layered. It's very sensitive. It's very aware of sexuality, and Chris is really a pioneer in this field. So Chris, thank you for coming to the basement tonight to lend us your professional voice and some of these more sensitive subject matters that are going to be coming up in the film tonight.
Yeah, no, of course. Happy to be here. Happy to lead you from away from being canceled and into the light.
Are we gonna have to start apologizing to the people who were canceled? You know, it's like we gotta you apologize for if we've offended anyone. If the people you've offended are canceled,
are the ones that are canceled. Yeah. Now we have to start apologizing for offending the ones who were not offended by the thing that offended all the rest.
Well, I'm offended that you're making fun of me. Now, before we get to tonight's movie, we got some drinks this evening. Chris, did you prepare a spooky cocktail for tonight's film?
I do, my friend. I've got a little cocktail. I'm calling it after my favorite character, Aunt Martha's perfect daughter, Punch.
Aunt Martha.
I made a little.
Yes, Aunt Martha.
Yes.
I believe I made a whole.
I
believe I made a whole batch of this cocktail.
I made a little lemon and key lime juice lemonade, and then mixed in a little orange juice, grenadine, half-ounce amaretto, 1 ounce whiskey, and a little strawberry as a garnish.
It's very, very pretty, very cute.
It's very pretty, very cute.
Thank you.
Very summery.
Delicious.
Yeah,
very
perfect for that little summer brew. Down 8 cups and get wasted on the beach.
That's what I'm saying. That's the way you do it.
That's how you do it.
Molly, what are you having this evening?
I have a special drink because tonight Mickey and I are sharing a drink. Our anniversary is actually tomorrow, but Mickey's going to be gone, so we thought we would celebrate it with a little bubbly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Indy 500 up there. You guys are covered in champagne. Whoa.
This marks 16 years.
Nice.
16.
Congratulations.
16 years.
16 years.
16.
Yeah, 16 years.
16 years. What's that?
I believe it was a whole decade.
So nice for you
Years
guys.
last year.
So we're pounding champagne.
Congrats! Thank you for celebrating with us and celebrating with the listener.
Well, I blindfolded her earlier after she was done at the gym and said, "I've got a special treat for our anniversary." Walked her down the steps. She goes, "I know that smell. Wait, I know that smell." And then took out the blindfold. Here we are. We're in the basement. We're doing this. We're doing the show.
Maybe next time, don't use one of the socks you found in the basement to blindfold her.
It was your sock. It was your sock.
I'm not
and
saying
I was like,
whose sock it was.
I had to, she was like, "Why does Michelangelo starch his socks?"
Talk about flat as a board. That sock.
It needs a screw. That's what I'm.
Hey!
I am having because tonight's film was sponsored by Pepsi. I'm having a large glass of Zevia cola. And I put a cinnamon stick, some orange slices, and a touch of gin in there.
Nice.
And I'm sorry. I got to tell you, my brain's a little fried.
Oh,
no.
Tonight's going to be interesting. This movie broke me a little bit.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I am blown away. I was very surprised by the amount of notes and organizing and preparation I had to do for tonight's film.
Oh wow.
I didn't have the time to come up with a cool spooky cocktail name, but Chris or Mickey or Molly, if you come up with something that you think would be a good idea that goes along with a gin
I think it's
Judy's gin.
Judy's. I was thinking Judy's brand new tits.
Oh, Judy's
Judy's brand new tits.
Judy's
Molly
boobs.
come in with a sophisticated and hilarious name. But I like that.
Mickey just says
Judy's
Judy's
gin.
boobies.
Yeah.
He didn't even say boobies is funnier than tits.
Judy's new boobies.
Yeah, let's not compare the two of us.
Judy's
It is
new
obvious.
boobies.
It is obvious that Molly is better than me in many ways. We don't have to continue to
And
bring
you get
this up,
2 glasses at
Michelangelo.
once.
Yeah, I mean, this is a gigantic
Hold
mason
'em.
jar I filled up with all these like orange slices, and it's very.
But the thing about
delicious.
marriage is, though, after you've been married for 16 years, anything
Marriage.
that she does, I can take credit for.
Is
So, like, if she's funnier, if she's funny on this podcast, then
okay,
I'm funny on this
we're gonna need the
podcast.
great folks at Serious Kitty to really give Molly a interesting face there.
Negative kitties. Do they get
Did I
serious
say
all of a
serious
sudden?
Kitty? Because they're so serious over there. They're serious about what they
Yeah,
do.
it is.
Negative Kitty. I'm sorry. So tonight, let's get to the movie. There's no question that tonight's movie is a true cult camp classic. But was this midnight movie masterpiece crafted by a mysterious genius? Or was it a combination of hard work, cluelessness, and luck? Join us as we attempt to find out this evening. In fond memory of a great doer, tonight we are talking about 1983's Sleepaway Camp. Now, Mickey, please tell me, and we're going to go through everybody on this. Tell me why can't in the Camp Not-A-Voorhees section this was your must have pick, and then I got to hear everybody's history. Was this anyone's first time?
'Tis I.
Oh, we're gonna get to you. I am so interested in that. But okay, Mickey, why Sleepaway Camp?
Sleepaway Camp is one.
Why?
Yeah, right.
Why?
So Sleepaway Camp
Why
is
did
one
you do this?
that came to me later.
I kept saying the whole time.
Probably after AMDA. I'm almost certain it was after AMDA, but I kept
After the acting school, Mickey and I, where we met when we were 18, we moved to New York, went to an acting school.
Really was the burgeoning of this podcast. But somebody had brought to my attention the ending, so they kind of spoiled it for me a little bit. They're like, "You got to see it, man. This ending," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "It's crazy, man. It's crazy." So I was like, "Okay, all right, I'll watch it." The twist is crazy. So I watched that film.
Rough individual that was forcing you to watch this.
It was my uncle, Uncle Eddie.
Oh,
hey,
no.
you gotta see the ending of this thing. I'm kidding. No, it's not my Uncle Eddie.
Mick
probably
does
Ryan
have a
Steed.
history of being forced to watch horror movies by his brothers.
It was probably Ryan. My buddy Ryan
that.
was kind of hip to things even before I was. He is truly somebody should come on the show sometime. But watched it. Didn't really have a strong feeling towards it. The ending was like, whoa, yeah, but not that as crazy as he's built it up, and it was just okay. And I remember being like, there are parts of it I like, there are parts I don't like. I definitely enjoyed the kids for the camp factor of the kids, and not like the camp as in the physical location, but as in like just their banter,
Campiness.
the way they react to one another. I just find it very charming in this film. I love the cussing kids. I love the angst and the anger. I actually love the females in this movie. And so kind of like was like, cool, glad I saw it, cult classic. A lot of people love it. I don't think I'm really hip to it that much. And then years later, I was exposed to How Did This Get Made? And they did it. And please check that out as well. But How Did This Get Made did it, and it kind of like made me get reinvigorated with it, because I was like, I need to rewatch it. So I rewatched it that Halloween, whatever that year was. This was early in their runs, but watched it that Halloween on like an overnight in bed, and I was like, holy shit, this movie is better than I remember it, and I actually want to talk about this with somebody. And then I've watched it like I think one other time since then, and then now with Molly. And one of my biggest reasons for doing this one was because after The Burning and after some of the other things we've discussed with Friday 13th, I think this is going to be an interesting one to navigate and to watch Michelangelo navigate as we talk about it, because it is. I know the history of it. I know a lot of like the stances people take on this film, and I want to talk about it. I think that I'm in a safe place with safe friends, and this is a cool movie that I want to talk about. And I do think that watching it with Molly even heightened it for me because we were laughing a lot through it, and I was like, I. I go to what people consider great comedies. I don't think I laugh as much as we were having fun with that movie last night. I thought like a lot of the
Yeah, I laughed a lot.
yeah, I thought a lot of the Judy lines were landing real good on me last night when we watched it.
Oh,
So
yeah. Were they?
they sure were.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So hey, as far as I'm concerned, I really enjoy this film. I can't wait to talk about it, and I'm really most excited for the four of us to get into this film and talk about our feelings towards it. And that's it from Mickey, spelled Mickey.
Molly.
MEGMOLLY. Yeah. Guys, I don't think I can talk about it as long as Mickey just did. Like,
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
do you see? I mean, like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, what? What? Why does the aunt talk like that? Why does Judy talk like that? Why? I have so many whys. Why?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of why.
Why was it so cold at the end? You can see the aunt's breath. So cold. It was like, damn, it is so cold in there. Felt so bad for her. I mean, it's goofy. It's a goofy film.
Did you have a good time? Was it entertaining? Were you engaged? Was it a slog?
I mean, I had a great time because, first of all, it's only 84 minutes, I think. Yeah,
It's pretty
so
short, yeah.
it's like, I don't know that I could have done 2 hours of it, but I mean, 84 minutes, it was a fun watch. You're laughing, everybody's over the top. You know, it's, yeah.
Were you surprised at all? Did anything
Sure
surprise
was.
you?
Sure
Were
was.
you
I mean,
surprised
do
like-
at the end?
Yeah, the ending.
Are we going to the end right now?
We're gonna like we'll save it then, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wanna
maybe
save
save
it.
it.
You want to save it? Okay.
Let's save it.
But I just want to know, were you shocked?
Yes, I sure was.
Confused.
That's the best.
I was
by the way.
shocked. I was confused. I also kept wondering why it was lingering so long. I was like, okay, and then, and nope, just gonna hold it. Just gonna hold it. Yeah.
That's the best. That's got to be the best way to watch the movie, is to watch the movie with other people, and especially at least one person who's never seen it, to get to see the movie through their eyes, because it is just like, what is
It
going on?
Yeah, it's not a movie I would watch by myself. I would definitely need someone to laugh with. Yeah.
Chris, do you have a history with Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah, I saw this for the first time in high school.
Oh,
And
good.
definitely it was off of that friend of mine being like, you know, the total spoiler, like, you gotta see this film for the an inappropriate phrase in the modern world. And so, like, you know, never had that chance to really kind of be surprised by the ending. Watched it, really liked it. I've never fully revisited it because of the fact that it feels like in my head one of those films, like, okay, I know the ending, I don't need to really rewatch it, you know, that type of thing. So this was my first full rewatch. Like, I've seen like parts again, that type of thing. First full rewatch since probably being like, you know, 16 or 17, that type of thing. And I had forgotten so much of it. And how insane it is at times, and how amazing that insanity is. And I just want to sink my teeth into it. I want an Aunt Martha prequel. I want a prequel.
Just want to know why Aunt Martha. What is happening to her?
The relationship dynamics between the father, Aunt Martha, the kids, all of it, that whole thing. I want a Mel, the camp owner original story. I like to think that, like, before this film, he's just beating the shit out of kids, being like, "You stole that Snickers, you're trying to ruin me." And just
When Mel's losing it, it's like,
Failed Borscht Belt comedian Mel,
Yeah, straight up
brother-
Catskills.
brother of loser brother of Columbo, the detective.
who's somehow
Yeah.
getting these teenage girls to be interested in him. What the hell
Like,
is
what's
going
up with
on
Yeah.
here?
Meg.
MEG.
Meg, what are you
MEG.
thinking,
what
Meg?
are
Loves
you
that
doing here?
MEL.
I was like, OMG, MEG.
And especially she's surrounded by these handsome as hell men that are just ripped and just
Such
wearing half shirts.
good-looking, yeah.
What is going on?
Much
Like, nobody
bulging
recognizes the
penis.
buff
So much
So much
meat.
bulging penises.
MEG is down to DTF with MEL and RONNIE can go fuck himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Boys are letting the bits out. in
Yeah,
this
so
movie.
was
a
this
lot
a
of
That's all
boys
I'm
bits.
saying.
Yeah, was this a fun rewatch for you?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Okay.
Did you
I
watch
loved
it by yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Only way too, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Only way
yeah.
to do it.
Only
see
way
all
to
those-
watch
You gotta
all
draw the
those
curtains.
male
Love that.
Those
You gotta
in.
drop that light
teenage
down.
boy butts is
And,
Hey,
by
those,
actually-
yourself.
and those Judy boobs.
But no, it was awesome. Michelangelo, what's your history?
Thank you for asking. My first exposure to this was how did this get made? I had never
Oh,
seen
okay,
it,
good,
listened to
yeah.
that
Oh, wow.
episode, and obviously it's got to be one of the best episodes that podcast has ever put out. And,
Certainly, yeah.
it's a bonkers good episode. And I didn't feel the need to see this as a result of that. But then, just not too long ago, Allie was out of town a couple of years ago, and I watched the Shout Factory DVD release of
Yeah.
it. That has the documentary At the Waterfront After the Social, the legacy of Sleepaway Camp. And I watched it I would pause it and like Joe Bob did it on the last drive-in, but it's no longer available, but you could just watch just Joe Bob. So, and it pauses with the time codes. So I was going back and forth and I was watching it with Joe Bob, and it's a movie best watch with people in a group,
Oh yeah.
as
Agreed.
most of our movies are. And I got to tell you, I was alone by myself, and the ending to
Yeah,
me is so visually, like, outside of the plot of it, just the visual aspects of it are truly haunting to me, and really, really,
I
really,
haven't had
really
it in
scare
my
the shit out of
brain
me.
since
The-
we watched it. I can't
And
get it out of my head, and
it's
it's unfortunate.
the expression she's making, the
face that
mask
she's
that
making,
they
yes.
made, it has nothing
Yeah,
to
that
do with the
mask,
fact that
yeah.
she's like a
Mhm.
guy. It's all these elements that we'll get into.
Well, there it is. There's the spoiler.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this, but it's just like it's the music. Edward Bilius, who
Mhm.
did the music for this, knocked it out of the park by far. The score of this is awesome,
True.
especially in
Yeah.
that ending. But that ending, just on its own, without any context, is really like a home run slasher ending. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's effective. It works. I don't think the story elements make
I was
any
gonna
sense
say, yeah.
whatsoever. Yeah, this is all outside of story. If you were to just watch the
image,
clip,
just
yeah,
image.
you're-
Yeah,
if I was to show you the last 7 minutes of this movie to anybody with no context, they'd
The
be like,
most
"I have to see the
terrifying-
rest of this."
The most terrifying film ever made. The
What?
last no, when it goes to her, like the face is going and being stuck there, and like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
weird.
It's
So terrifying.
I think so.
terrifying to me.
I think the first, 8/10 of the film is kind of playing on a
Did you
beat
just say
and a tone.
8/10?
Yeah, or it's playing on a tone. 80% of the film is playing on a tone that then this kind of is like in a different tone.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I disagree. I think 7/10.
Yeah, I was thinking like
think
7.5 tenths.
Yeah, I was
81%.
7.5. Well, 7.5.
81%. Yeah.
Now
I don't know that I thought it was
actually,
terrifying,
guys,
Actually, I didn't. I
did-
just thought it was really messed up.
Did you get goosebumps?
No.
No, I've never done that.
Hold on.
You get goosebumps. I was like, what?
But she,
What?
but there was like a element of and this is what I saw where it's like you're
Okay.
watching it and you're laughing it, and then when this happened, Molly goes like
What?
up, like brought her up. She went.
Yeah, because
What?
I was like,
She goes.
what
She even said like
the...
that. Are they just gonna that?
And then it just stayed there. It
that's-
just stayed
what?
there. I was like, what? Oh, what?
I know.
Oh, what? Oh,
So I
what?
think it was
What?
pretty effective.
That's what I said. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? And then I
You
said,
can agree,
that's
effective.
it? That's it?
That's
That's
it.
it?
Cut
That's
to
it. That's all
green
you get.
screen
That's what
and
I
a
said.
song.
3 times I said
You
it.
know, which I appreciate, and we'll get into it. I know we're gonna do a whole thing on the ending, so I'm gonna hold it, but I appreciate the way they finish.
Now this film was
Yeah,
supposedly
studio.
lost and rediscovered thanks to Fangoria and SleepAwayCampMovies.com in 2000. But according to Joe Bob Briggs, it's not true because he championed it on the movie channel back in 87 and 88.
Oh,
He liked this movie.
snap.
I was gonna say,
and the movie was a success when it came out.
Yeah, it made 11 million. Now,
Shocking.
I'm curious if this is true or not, because and we'll get into this as we talk about the director. My opinions about the director, but apparently it did gross 11 million on a $350,000 budget when it
That
came
is
out.
insane.
Well,
How?
it was cashing in on that when it
Surprise
came
ending.
out in like 83, 84. So I mean, like
Prime.
people want those slashers. So
Yeah.
and despite some of the story elements, it's a well shot movie, I would say. Like especially for a first time film director.
Yeah. First time everyone, I think, was the first time on that.
Yeah, I think
You think?
With the exception of obviously James Earl Jones' father, but yeah.
Yeah, Robert Earl Jones. I think yeah,
Robert
he was
Earl Jones in
fantastic.
this.
Actually, he was great. I could have used. I wish he had more screen time.
Same.
Right? What
He
happened?
goes away.
He just goes
But
away, and then you're like,
just
wait,
leaves.
what? Where
He
is
at
he?
least has. I mean, he's the only happy ending though, right? Him and the
Right.
guys, they get a raise and bye.
They get a raise.
Yeah, got a raise. Okay.
Now, okay. Oh boy.
Every brown
You're, like,
person on that film
overcome.
gets to stay in the kitchen and make money. Everybody else gets killed.
Yep.
It's true.
Now, okay. Can we talk? I want to do a before we get into the movie necessarily.
You're like
Here it
flustered.
comes. I
I
know.
know.
This is
I know.
why I love this
Overcome.
pick. This is Chris. This is why I was so excited about this pick. I was like, I cannot wait
I-
to just see
Is
this.
this
I wanna-
bubbler out of the bottle?
I have Molly riveted.
It's like
This drink is so good. Is that new Alka-Seltzer champagne that they started?
Yeah. It's
yeah, plop plop.
we're having a celebration over 16 years, man. We're just going straight for the bottle.
Sorry
There you
for the
go.
distraction.
So this is
So
my
bubbly.
new segment in celebration of your
Oh.
anniversary. This is a breakdown of who is who regarding Angela Peters' family and Ricky's family. Ricky's family. Ricky.
Oh, so
What?
you want to try to break that
break
down?
it down.
Try
That's
to
a
break this
big.
down, okay?
Okay.
No. So I have some notes here. I'm
Okay.
gonna go through it,
Please.
Yep.
right? And then we'll try to put together what we
MEG.
can. Okay. So John.
Wait, who's
Is-
John?
What the-
Just listen.
wait.
He's doing this
Listen.
for you. Okay.
John, Angela / Peter's father,
Correct.
lover of the man on the beach, who is
Yes.
listed in the credits as Lenny. So we're gonna call the man on the beach Lenny.
Lenny.
Even though I don't
Okay.
believe his name is ever said. but
Wait,
Lenny
the-
is his name.
Wait, Lenny is the lover.
The lover.
Lenny
on the
the
beach.
lover.
The lover. And
Lenny
John
the
is the
lover.
father on the boat in the beginning. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, John dies on the boat
Correct.
along with
Mhm.
Angela / Peter's sister, Angela.
Yes.
Mm.
Right now,
Mhm.
Angela is Peter.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right now,
Wow, wait, I'm confused.
no.
Okay,
Right now
so
you have
hold on,
right now
Molly.
you only have
already. Got it. I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
If I may, I feel like this should be like a family tree, a sleepaway.
Oh yeah, no,
family
that's just-
tree.
well,
Yeah, 'cause
I was
yeah.
discussing if it's a family tree or is it like a conspiracy theory thing with the red
Oh, some
string
string?
going everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
that's
that.
fun.
Okay.
That's fun.
So John's John, and
Lenny the lover.
Angela
Okay,
died,
Angela.
right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
Peter
Yes.
is left alive, but we don't know it's Peter at the time.
Until the end.
Yeah, we
But
don't know.
Well, we do,
Peter
but then
is
later
Angela.
I'm like, oh, I guess it wasn't.
Yeah. So now Dr. Thomas slash Doc slash Martha, Aunt Martha,
Yes.
Mhm.
mother
Wait, Aunt
of Ricky
Martha is Dr. Thomas.
Yes.
is Dr. Thomas's Doc. Doc's coming. You got to come in.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
my
Aunt
God.
Martha. Aunt Martha
Okay.
is the doctor.
Okay.
Dr. Thomas. She is the mother of Ricky, the cousin
Mm-hmm.
of
Mhm.
Angela slash Peter. Now, she's on her way to the lake in the beginning. She's separated from her husband because Lenny says Ricky won't be coming because he's with his father, right? I don't know if she's separated from him, but the father never shows back up into the picture, Ricky's father, right?
Right.
So we
Wait,
don't
this
know.
happens at the beginning?
This is in the very
This is-
first. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is all beach stuff, but
I
like
missed
we're-
So wait, Ricky's father's not Lenny.
no.
No.
Okay.
No,
That's something I've always thought before.
because he
Okay.
says Lenny says no because
No.
one of the kids are like, is Ricky coming?
Is
And it's
Ricky
like,
coming?
no, Ricky's with his father.
His father.
He's
Mm.
not
Okay.
coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Martha is Martha the sister or sister-in-law of John or Lenny, or is she a good friend who is regarded as an aunt? Is she trans? Is she gay? Is she
Oh.
crazy? Was she
Oh,
crazy before?
Crazy, yes.
Did
Crazy,
the
yes.
separation or death of John make her crazy?
No, she already was.
Well, I mean, you're getting
she's
into
been crazy.
questions. You're getting into questions that we don't know, and it doesn't really matter.
I know, but I'm still posing these questions because they're
And
questions
also,
that come
too,
up.
it's generally not best to be like, "What's the deal with that person? They trans or gay or something?"
Yeah.
No,
So-
but
You know what?
but
Let's just
her-
not worry about
the,
that.
the performance
wait.
is so campy and
It's so like 1930s ish, right?
Mhm.
See,
It's
like
very-
why
it's
don't
very,
she
like-
talk?
Well, I would say John Waters. I would say John Waters-esque as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why? Wait, why do we think that she would be gay or?
Well,
It's,
she-
there
why
are
would that
theories that are out there. It's like she has big hands. She looks so strikingly different, like the way
And they
she's
don't-
made up from everyone else in the story. Her performance is so campy in general.
Oh,
and,
like maybe
like-
that's why she made Peter to be Angela.
Well, and if
No
I
idea.
may,
Oh.
and if I may, I think that there may have been intent in not like gendering her in the beach scene, right? They refer to her as like non-gender specific titles like Doc's coming. Or
Well,
I
that-
guess
I'm gonna
they say with
I'm gonna
the-
get to that.
No, they say with with his dad. So that could I don't know. I don't know.
refer to her as Doc. Okay, let me. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna finish
can
getting through
continue.
this.
This is, that
Okay.
classic riddle about the father and the son are in a car accident and they go
Yeah.
to the hospital. This is actually all tied into that universe, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Okay, now who is the man on the beach? Lenny. Lenny is the man on the beach, according to the credits.
La la
What
la
is
la
his-
la lover.
Lover. What is his relationship to John, the children, and Martha? We know that he's the lover of John. Now,
Sure.
why do they refer to Martha as Doc and not Aunt Martha or Martha? Lenny is obviously John's lover, but are they a couple? Where is Angela / Peter's mother? Are the kids adopted? Is the mother dead? Is John's relationship with Lenny a secret?
I don't know.
Well, and also too, the only thing like you can say is like, well, they wouldn't refer to Aunt Martha as Aunt Martha because they're not talking to the children; they're talking to the two adults are talking to each other.
Right.
It'd be weird for them to be like,
Mhm.
Aunt
Right.
Martha's
Aunt Martha.
coming.
Well,
like, it's
but
for
why
the
not
kids, that's
Martha?
the kids,
Why
Aunt
Doc?
Martha.
Because
Oh, they
she's
just call her
doctor
Doc.
and she
Some
worked
people
for
call,
that.
yeah. What, you trying to take away a woman's
Wow.
degree? Is
A
that
woman-
it?
Because she's
Yeah,
a woman.
if
and
they
she's
could
a
doc
big
her,
doctor.
Michelangelo,
If it were-
Wouldn't
if
say
it were a
doctor.
man-
That's unheard of.
Hey, hold on.
Excuse me. If it were a man, he'd be like, "Call me Doc."
Yeah,
It's-
if this
it's
were a-
Doc, thank you.
Yeah, if this were a we don't use last names. If this were
I'm just making up last names. It's a very common last name.
We're not
If
So
this-
generic, that can't be real.
if this were an
anonymity.
yeah, I'll cut it out in editing. But if this were an 80s film about traveling back to the future, you would be fine with them calling the person Doc. but you struggle with being a woman.
Because is
So
it
wait.
because she's also
That's
an
what it
aunt?
is.
So Aunt Martha
that
should
why
have been
you're mad
Christopher
about it?
Lloyd.
She's an aunt first.
She's
a
an
woman
aunt first,
second,
woman second.
a
Doctor
mother
third.
third. She's not a doctor, okay? That's
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah, listen up, ladies.
She had to be
I
a
think-
Listen
man.
up, lady
Now,
Obviously,
doctors.
she
I
was
will
actually
say
a man
this.
'cause
Your
she's a
mom
doctor.
All
first,
joking
okay?
aside,
I will say
what do we
this.
think John and Lenny's relationship is? Are they lovers? Is their relationship a
Lovers.
Yeah, they're-
secret?
Chris, go
Are
ahead.
they fathers to these two children?
I don't know.
Well, I
John
think-
is obviously a father
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
to Peter and
Angela.
Peter's sister. Yeah, we don't know her real name though.
Think-
And then
Angela.
well, that's
Angela
what
is,
she
is
says.
the
We'll
sister's
call
name.
you Angela. Angela's such a beautiful name. Yes, it is.
But
It's
it's
not a real
also
name.
it's Peter's sister's name is Angela. I don't know if they say that in the script at all. I don't know if it makes sense that her name is Angela, but according to the cast credits, Angela is the name of the girl who dies in the boat.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
I know
you.
it doesn't make any sense. I had to look this up. You will not glean this information from the movie that you watched. Now,
So-
I'm going to skip a little. Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, I had to say something. I think that in my reading of this is that John and Lenny have a relationship and they're open about it because they're around the kids with it.
Yeah.
And I think
And
that with the
are cool,
kids, I think-
obviously.
I think when we see the flashback and the kids see them,
giggling.
in some type
Cuddling.
of
They're cuddling.
affection.
That's the next section I want to talk about.
Okay.
Can I bring that
Go
up?
Let's
for
go.
it.
And
Yeah,
then
please.
okay.
Please.
So Angela / Peter as a boy and Angela, his sister, their sister, see John and Lenny in bed together. As a result, Angela / Peter is with his sister in bed and they're playing the game where you imitate what your parents are doing, right?
Sure.
Or the
Yeah.
adults,
They are?
right?
They're like
Yeah, they're
touching each
playing
other,
like
kinda-
They're
they're
just
playing-
pointing.
are they
He's
playing
just pointing
house?
at her though.
Well, he's pointing at her, but is his intent to touch her? Because Angela / Peter makes the points of like, is Peter gonna touch Angela? And then
It's
as
just
Angela, they now have PTSD from this moment as to whatever it is that happened.
I think it's just a misdirect. I think that's all that is. I think that's the intention of it.
Misdirect.
Yeah, like they're thinking like
a red
the,
herring, you might say.
yeah, they're
think
like
it's-
like, oh, it's the trauma
I think-
between Ricky and Angela growing up, that type of thing. Like, but then it's not what it really
Ricky
is.
though, isn't it? It's
Peter.
it's
Peter.
Peter.
Peter and Angela,
Well,
not
but-
Ricky.
Brother
You don't
and
know who
sister.
it is at the time.
That's the same kid in the beginning who's
I did.
who's
I guess
playing
that's-
Peter.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you're right. It would be
So
Peter,
that's
not
Peter
Ricky. Yeah,
and
fair.
Angela. And the dad is still alive, so it would be Peter, not Ricky.
I guess that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't know.
don't know. I don't know.
I think this movie is filled with misdirects and posing questions that no one knows the answer to. So
yeah, I think it doesn't. It
I
also,
do understand it's futile.
Thank you for
things
the
I'm bringing up.
pointless exercise.
yeah.
But I'm like that's the point of this, right? It's like,
I agree.
Where else am I going to have these ridiculous conversations with people?
I agree with Michelangelo. I
And
like having these
I just
conversations.
think it comes in at a point where he does that. The camera spins around them and he points to her. It also comes in, I think, at a moment where you're. Is it when they're on the beach?
Yeah,
Or
her,
you're like,
her and Paul are. Yeah.
When
yeah. So
Angela
it's
and
like
Paul are
kind
on
of
the
like,
beach.
oh, they're yeah. So maybe it is a little clue to some sort of trauma with that.
Yeah, Angela definitely has trauma from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what a moviegoer would get from that combination of those scenes being back to back. Okay.
So glad we
I just
didn't
wanted
figure
to
that
get
out.
I wanted to get that out of the way.
Well,
What?
I mean, we didn't really have a conversation about it. We just kind of like threw out some loose
Well, it's-
ideas.
Yeah, I mean, well, do we want to like weave these into our conversation of the film, or do we want to
think
try
that
to answer some of them now?
That's probably best.
Is
Let's
your-
I think
weave
that'd
them-
make
let's
more
weave them in.
sense. Work
Let's
into
weave
the-
them in.
Yeah.
So I love that this is shot in upstate New York, Glens Falls. I love all the autumn shots at the beginning. I think it's a really fantastically shot opening.
Oh, I
Right?
love
Or
the ending kind of at the
And
beginning, with that the
dissolves.
montage.
A lot of
Mhm.
pan dissolves. A lot of pan dissolves.
and Mickey, to piggyback on what you were saying, I love all the actors in this, and mind you, like any criticisms I'm going to bring up during this discussion, it's like not no one's it. This falls all on the director, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the actors are great. I think you have everything ranging from like solid B movie like performances up to like I think Angela like, when she acts like her first line, I think she delivers it really well when she finally has, like, something to do, and I
Yeah.
Mhm.
think, like, a lot of these kids and a lot of the acting in it is, like, really good community theater acting, and I do not mean that as an insult, I'm a
I know what
lover
you
of
mean.
community theater acting, but, sometimes people hear that and they think, "Oh,
Yeah,
not
you're putting it
professional."
down. Yeah,
And
why are
it's
you
like,
talking
well,
yeah.
none of these kids were professionals. They were, this is a lot of them. This is the first gig they ever did. And
Yeah.
I think they did a great, fantastic job. And they did exactly what was asked of them and what was needed of them, and probably surpassed
Sure.
a lot of the expectations the director may have had for them.
But why do we think Judy talks like that?
She's a real carpenter's dream. The light is a board and needs a screw. That's enough.
Because the director.
Because she's
mean,
mean?
I mean, sure. I don't know, but I kept like at the end I was like, I feel like Aunt Martha is Judy's mom because they talk so similarly.
Interesting.
Whoa, hot take. Hot
Later.
take.
Well, I feel like I'm not saying it is. I'm saying I feel like it
Put it in the canon.
should be. Like I like wow, Aunt Martha should be Judy's mom because of the way they talk.
I think that part of the issue with Judy and the way she talks the way she does is because she's probably one of the older actresses there playing young, and she's playing like the snobby bitch that was like big in the 80s. It was like Valley Girl kinda, because that was a big trope in the 80s to like the bully, brat Valley Girl.
Boy, Angela, you sure are forgiving. Especially after you told me what a prude you are.
I think she brought that to upstate New York, and nobody else was on that same wavelength, so it made it even stand out even more. That was my
Yeah,
take on it.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Jane Krasinski.
Shut up.
Wow.
Whose parents read the script and were like, "No, my daughter's not gonna be in this."
She would
Oh
have
my
been
gosh,
great
she
in
would have
that.
been so good.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she's obviously fantastic. She's gone on to, become a legend in her own right. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably good that she wasn't in this, would be my guess.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if you watch
Good choice, good choice.
the
Yeah.
documentary, they talk about like, yeah, the kids got all cast in this thing, and then like everyone but Felissa Rose's
Mhm.
mom, all
Mhm.
the other parents like dropped off their kids and were like, okay, we're gonna go off and do our own thing, have fun. And like the
Mhm.
kids were totally unattended
I heard it
outside
was
of like the
nuts.
crew.
Wait, did you say documentary? There's a documentary about this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's multiple actually.
Yeah.
What?
There's like
I-
3,
It's
I
a
think.
very popular cult film.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about at the time they were called Scream Factory, but Shout Factory's special feature at the waterfront after the social, the legacy of
Mhm.
Sleepaway Camp. And you
Meet me
can
at the
also
waterfront.
you can go to sleepawaycampmovies.com and they have a lot of trivia and information about the film.
Is it
A lot
accurate?
of it. I mean, is this the stories that the people are these the things coming out of the people's mouths that they're talking to? Yes. Is it the reality of how things happened?
Opinion trivia, not I
Yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah, there's no yeah, how do you
I Yeah. It's hearsay. Yeah.
It's a
But
real
the
Rashomon going
Yeah,
on at the
yes.
sleepawaycamp.com.
the actor who played Mike, is it Thomas Dell?
Yes, Vandell.
Yeah.
Tom Vandell is what I have.
Yeah.
So it looks like.
Well, Mike,
He's the
I
blonde
saw
kid who gets
Goes by
high with
Tom.
Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
is that him? Then I might have the wrong actor.
Are you talking about Kenny who dies on the boat?
No, not Kenny. Who's the big
said,
buff?
Not Kenny.
who's-
Come on.
Kenny was awful.
Ronnie,
No,
Ronnie, the
Who's-
head counselor, who's always
yes,
either
big,
too,
Ronnie's a
buff.
too
good
late or
guy.
too. Or
Wearing
he's a good
undies,
guy, but
wearing tidy
he is-
whities.
his
a good dude.
superpower is that he is always going to leave you when you need him, or that he's going to show up after you need him.
Wait,
If
which
only-
one? Wait, which one is
Ronnie's
Ronnie?
the big muscle guy
The-
who runs the camp.
Yeah, but
with
there's
Mel.
two muscle guys. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He's the one when he came on screen. I was like, "Whoa, penis!"
Like this
Yeah,
imagery,
Ronnie, put some clothes on.
Oh,
that
yeah.
outfit is everything.
Speaking
That
of the
right
outfits,
there.
these are wearing girls' outfits.
Molly did say it was like these are the outfits that I buy now.
I'm like, I kind of like that
Yeah.
guy's outfit. I would
like
wear
the
that.
crop tops.
I would
T-shirt,
tight
and
pants.
jean short. Great fit.
Leader of Bunk 19 Gene. I want to see Chris in that outfit.
Yeah,
when
let's
they go
do
play
it.
Oh
baseball.
yeah,
Wait, which
yeah.
one
You know
is
the
that?
hairy belly
He's got like
and the
a
crop
strip
top.
of
Just like-
hair and
Oh,
it's crop top.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great picture. A good picture.
Yeah.
Really good on the
And I
mound.
gotta say, Ronnie's red jogging suit at the end
Oh yeah,
is
looks
a
good.
perfect
It's-
Halloween costume right there.
Uh-huh.
That's
There's a lot of good
comfortable,
Halloween
actually
fun
costumes.
Halloween costume.
The wardrobe.
I thought
is
Ronnie's costuming was
moist.
fantastic. I felt like
Actually,
Ronnie should be on the beach running with Sylvester Stallone and Carl
Yeah,
Weathers
there you
like
go.
tomorrow.
But who's
Yeah.
the other
we'd
muscly
be
guy?
trading
Who's
with
the other
Melissa.
muscly counselor guy?
I think that's who we were just saying with like the crop
Gino.
top.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
the crop
he the
top.
one that wears the crop top? Also has dark hair.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
He's
that's
the
slightly
leader
shorter,
of
dark hair.
Actually,
Ricky's cabin. Camp.
Okay.
I also thought he was a great
19.
actor.
Actually, we
Yeah.
watched him
He
in
was
like
good.
one of the
He was a
scenes.
good
We were
guy.
like, "Hey, he's pretty grounded."
When he
This
does
is
the
grounded performance there, bud.
he's taking
Jeez.
like the sword down the throat, or it wasn't a sword, but
Yeah, he's goofing
yeah,
off.
he,
Black
then he
Bolt.
comes back and he does his
Yeah, he
lines. Where he's
does
like,
his
"Here's how
lines.
we're
It's
doing
so
capture the
good.
flag." His capture the flag delivery is the most natural,
It's a nice
grounded
capture the
delivery of
flag
anybody
delivery.
in that entire film
It really
of any
is.
scene. It was so good.
Did you
But
guys ever
it-
play Capture the Flag?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, when I was
No,
like a
not
kid.
really. No, I didn't.
Neither did I. I do have a friend who played it when he was a kid in upstate New York, and he is not a privileged kid at all. But he was around privileged people, and he was playing
Mm.
Capture the Flag with this older guy. He was like an adult, right? And they had been captured, so they had to wait
Mm-hmm.
in the prison area. And this
Mhm.
older guy was like, "Hey, why don't we just leave?" And he was like, "No." He was like a little kid. He was like, "No, you can't leave." He's like, "Who's gonna know if we just fucking go?"
Wait, this
And
is a real
that-
story?
This is a real story, and the guy was
prison
Alec
guy?
Baldwin.
Oh,
A prison
Oh,
bag. Where'd you get
Alec
prison?
Baldwin. You said they're out by a prison.
guy.
No. When you're like you get captured, you have to be in like the little makeshift
In the
fake
game.
prison.
See, I don't know
I'm
the rules
sorry,
of
yeah,
the
in the-
game.
okay.
Also, is
Sorry.
Capture the Flag it's like a fancy game? It's a
No,
privileged
not at
people
all.
game?
I don't know.
No.
No.
It's
like
a
you-
summer
done in the
game. It's a
forest.
summer. Yeah,
I
it's
will also-
it's a summer game.
I'll also say that we never played it the way they played it. They played it with like little strips in their pants
Like
that you
flag
pull out.
football.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, we always played it as like tag.
Yeah.
It's
like, that's
basically
like,
tag, and you're trying to get to the other person's flag. And if you get tagged, then you're put in prison. But we would sometimes play it where if you get tagged, you're automatically made into the other team.
Is it like Kick the Bucket?
It's actually very similar.
Let's kick the bucket.
I was gonna say I don't think I know kick the bucket.
See,
Yeah, you
kick the
gotta-
bucket
you
is-
gotta guard
I
is-
know
the
kick the
bucket.
can.
See, you uppity northeasterners play capture the flag.
I'm from the Midwest.
I was
I
going to say,
know,
we're
dang
all
it.
from the
I-
same
never mind.
spot. That's
No,
where
no,
I
you-
played.
we're all from
Literally
Kansas
from
City.
the same area Molly is from.
That's where we played Kick the Bucket.
And so is
No.
Chris.
No, kick the bucket is similar to capture the flag. Only instead of capturing a flag, you're
Yeah,
kicking
kick
a
the bucket.
bucket.
Okay.
Each
No.
person has a bucket, or there's one bucket actually.
There's
Yeah.
one bucket.
Now, Molly, you may have just answered a question for me, but did you go to camp?
No, I didn't go to sleepaway camp.
Sleepaway camp.
She did like you, man. She went to like day
I
theater
did,
arts camps.
Music and arts day camp.
I did go to arts camps.
I did that in Pittsburgh, though.
You never
Mhm.
went to like a theater camp?
I wish.
Why did
no.
I think that? No, I thought that.
No.
Okay.
I
I
did. All I
went-
did.
I went
did
to summer
dance
school.
and music.
You went to summer school.
Just call
I
it
fucking
camp.
sucked.
Yeah. So Molly, you went to
Oh,
day
yeah, yeah.
camps.
Yeah,
Were
I
they
went to
anything? Were they
music and
any
arts day camp.
anything like sleepaway camps? Was there any of
No.
this kind of stuff like bullying and like people like taking sides and like boys trying to coerce girls and girls being like
Sure.
"Ugh, stupid boys?
Yeah, sure.
There was that in day camp.
Yeah, I mean,
I
there
mean,
were like crushes and stuff, you know?
Is that just being a teenager, no matter what the
Yeah, I think that's
circumstances
no matter
around
where you are.
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was probably
Yeah.
summer school too, right, Mike?
Yeah.
The
Michelangelo.
environments are what they are.
Well,
Yeah.
teenage boys, there's going to be bullying and making fun of, and it's going to be a nightmare no matter what. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's why I found my way to the arts, was like it was a safe place where like everyone wasn't like ridiculing each other
Right.
and like beating each other up and like bullshit macho stuff. It was just a cool place where you could like be yourself, and you were like aspiring to be something better. You were working as a group to create something better, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to just like fucking shoving your ass in each other's faces and
Doing sit-ups.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Well,
Oh my, that was so good.
the sit-ups, yeah.
I did laugh so hard.
Well,
did you ever pull that one?
I did. I've done that one.
Me? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
Yeah, it was always a thing of like, if you can hold I was like, if you can hold your forehead, if I can hold your forehead down, the distribution of weight because of the top of your head, you will not be able to do a sit-up. Well, yes, I can. And you'd be like, okay, here it goes. So then you'd take it and you'd put the whatever it was, like towel over their eyes and head and be like, okay, hold on. Somebody would get in place and be like, I'm gonna put so much pressure, it's not gonna work. And you pull it away just like they did in the movie. And that was one thing I wanted to bring up when talking about this film. I thought that, although maybe slightly heightened and a little campy, that was a better representation of boys at a camp than, like, say, The Burning was.
Yeah, oh,
It was
absolutely.
like these boys. I remember being at summer camp and like people breaking up fights at like the Thursday night dance before the last day of camp
Mhm.
because like multiple guys liked one girl. I remember,
So
girls.
the dances would happen at
Oh,
camp.
yeah, oh, absolutely. Even
Okay.
these are church camps that I
See,
went to, and they
we
still
were
had a
working
dance.
toward recitals, toward performances at my day camp.
This is sleepaway camp, baby. It's
know.
a whole
I'm
different
saying.
bag.
And I was also dancing, but I was performing.
I did find that the behavior of the children amongst themselves outside of the slasher component was pretty believable.
Yeah.
Feels really natural. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, throwing water balloons at quiet girls when they
Oh,
walk.
yeah.
I
A
thought that
little
was totally
bit of an
believable.
overreaction from Ricky, don't you think?
I mean,
I love Ricky when he like goes when he
Well.
defends Angela. Here's the thing though, I think that Ricky, like, I don't know if you ever had this friend. I'm hoping,
he shouldn't die.
but like
He
Should
should
say?
live.
Yeah,
he
there it
shouldn't
is.
live.
That's a great
I-
comeback.
should-
That's a
live.
great
He
comeback. He shouldn't
shouldn't
live. Yeah.
I'd be
But-
so sad if somebody said that to me. I'd be like,
But I
Ricky is
appreciate
awesome.
Ricky.
Yeah,
I think
Ricky's
that
Ricky reminds
Yeah.
me of my brother. It's like super confident, suffers no fools,
Mhm.
and like a disgusting, filthy mouth. And like the only difference is like my brother would like totally have hooked up with Judy
yeah, Ricky
When he
gave
got
up
shut
pretty
and
down.
quick
every
on
other
that.
girl at the camp.
But good for Ricky too. He's like, hey, remember me, Judy? She's like, no. He's like, all right, well, fuck you then.
Okay,
You know
well,
what I
He's like,
mean?
what a
Like,
bitch.
yes,
He's like, what a
good.
bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
what a
like
bitch.
probably the only time in one of these films where a male character is like, "Man, she's being a bitch," and it was like, "No, yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
man.
you're
She's
right.
being
She
mean.
kinda
She's
is.
being
Yeah.
mean."
Yeah. Yeah, no, she is. She and Meg. No,
Meg
thank
is.
you.
needlessly-
How did she become a
Needlessly
counselor?
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, MEG.
Shaking the shit out of Angela and fucking. Okay, Molly, can you explain? Can you explain Meg's pursuit of Mel to me?
No. It's very confusing. When that happened, I was like, what?
You'd make sense with like Ronnie, right?
Oh,
She's like,
absolutely.
oh, he's
Oh,
older,
yeah.
he's
Love-
buff, he's good looking, but Mel, I guess she's like
Mel.
trying to get that camp
What?
money.
What the hell,
I
Mel?
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. He his reaction when she says, like, you promised me dinner or whatever, when she walks off, his reaction of like the, all right. I was like, yes, same
Yeah, even-
reaction I'm having.
Even Mel's like, that's weird. What's wrong with her?
Like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, know. Nobody gets
It's
either,
like, yeah.
Mel. We don't know either.
Yeah. Mel played it right.
And then he's so ready to get revenge on whoever killed her.
Oh, man.
Oh, he
He
was.
turns
I
into
He
an
love-
ape.
just stands
I
there,
love
does a
it.
whole
Ape man.
monologue about, oh, Meg, I
Not
will
Meg.
find them. Like,
Not
he's
my
so-
Meg.
Not my Meg. He's so angry.
And then like, what's that? Like he before that, after is it the second death? He's like, I could see the darkness in him, but I didn't do anything about it. It's like he's like doing this whole like monologue, like he's a
wild.
revenger or something, like a superhero.
And then they're
so
throwing
weird.
Angela in the water, and he's not even paying attention. He's just like trying to wrangle Ricky.
well,
Shaking the shit out of him.
Here's
Mhm.
Mel's arc in this film is, I must protect the camp at any cost.
Which I love
Until
that.
Meg comes
Yeah.
along.
No,
Ah.
two. I've had a mental break, and that kid Ricky, he's the one responsible for all this. I have to get Ricky. It's
Little
like
Ricky.
where it
love it.
goes. It's
It's
so
insane.
wild. And
Did
I
you
guess
see
it's
him-
because Ricky. Well, go ahead.
No, just do you see him in the background in the water balloon scene, like teaching the kids how to swing a bat? He's just in the background, like
No, I missed
showing
that.
the little
Really?
kids how to swing a bat in the water balloon scene.
He's probably teaching them like when Ricky comes by here, you see
I'm
just
gonna
go crack.
You're
swing
just
this
gonna
fucking
swing
bat
this
right in his
bat.
face.
I feel
Only
like
do
this
it
is
when Ricky walks by. Got it?
this is
Give
one
me
of
my
those.
cigar.
This is one of those. Yeah, poor. Hey,
He
rest.
smoked that same
hey,
cigar the whole film.
I know he probably shouldn't have smoked as much.
Yeah,
honestly,
actually.
yeah.
That's-
I mean,
Alright,
did-
And
R.I.P.
Mike Killen, who
Mhm.
played Mel, by the way, fantastic actor, was dying when he made this film.
I know.
Yeah,
Shit,
that's
really?
awful.
Time,
Yeah.
He died before it. He never got to see it.
Yeah.
That's might be for the best.
That's probably for the best.
his agent did. And his agent was like, "Good thing he passed."
Good thing.
Can I give an Artie quote?
Ooh, please.
Yeah, please. Oh, I want to talk about Artie. Yeah.
When all the campers are sprinting off of the buses, he says,
Nah,
"Look
yeah.
at all that fine chicken. Where I come,
Oh,
we call
yeah.
them. Where I come from, we call them baldies."
Baldies, yeah.
Yeah, it's not
That's
good.
so
That's not
cringe.
good.
And the fact that Robert Earl Jones is like, they don't even know how dangerous you are.
Yeah. That was who Robert Earl Jones is the personnel she helped get it. The idea, what I'm trying to say is that we talk often how these films fail without a Deborah Hill, right? We can all
Oh
agree
yeah,
that
this
Deborah
movie
Hill does so
needs
much.
this movie
But-
needs like a
but-
woman's touch.
But
Five
if you
Deborah
listen,
Hills?
if you listen to the
A
director,
little MEG.
his now wife, who was like a girlfriend at the time, and they dated for like another 20 years before they got married. But Michelle Totosian, I cannot say the last
Such
name.
a fun name.
But she was very instrumental in every part of this process of this film. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that she is the Deborah Hill. And if you think that it lacks a Deborah Hill, I understand. But there was a
It does.
female producer there the whole time, really taking lead on this. I watched an interview with him the other day, the director, and he was just like, she was so instrumental in making this film happen.
She replaces Leslie when Leslie falls off the boat with Kenny. Leslie turns into his wife.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what the like logistical
Maybe the actress
stuff,
couldn't swim or something like
or
that.
she didn't want to, or
Yeah,
she was like,
that's
"Fuck
true.
this,
Yeah.
I'm gone."
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I read on there that actress said that she was like, I'm not. It was too cold.
It was-
like when they were filming
The
in
girl
fall,
that's screaming.
and the water was so freezing cold that a lot of the people
Yeah.
were like, "We're not doing this."
Kenny, the actor who played Kenny, ripped open his hand when he fell out of the
Mhm.
boat and cut
Cut
it.
his
He
hand
had to
open.
be rushed to the hospital.
Shit.
Um,
Oh, jeez. Is he
But
okay?
okay, so Artie, he was okay. He was okay.
Okay, thanks.
And I think Kenny's great. His the performance by the actor. Now Artie, Chris, I
Mhm.
feel like the scene where Angela and like Artie's got Angela cornered.
Yeah.
I feel like my relationship with you
Mhm.
is like Artie and Angela,
Uh-huh.
but
Oh
consensual.
shit!
And I'm
Uh-huh.
Angela and you're Artie. It's consensual, but I play.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
uh-oh.
Yeah. No. And I will try to make it as unconsensual
Yeah.
as possible.
Wait, where are we going with this?
I love how he dies in the most
Mhm.
hilarious, like somehow,
Yeah.
like if you're standing on a chair and you get slightly pushed forward, you'll be like,
He's like gripping the
"No."
shelf.
He did it. He did a full cropsy.
He did a full crowd. What's with that pot? Is that the
It is
smallest
the
pot you've ever
giant.
seen?
pot in
That
the
is the
world.
biggest pot ever.
That's comical. It's
It's
It
comical.
comically
can't
big.
be real.
And
There's no
and
way.
I think I was like, is that pot real?
It's
I
also
bet you
too
it is.
tall. It would take
It's
so
too tall.
long to boil
You would think
all
make
the
it
way up.
wider.
But it also
Right?
was
Yes,
boiling
yes.
corn, and that's to say that corn sinks the bottom, actually floats on
Yeah,
the
how do you
top.
get it
Yeah,
out
but
then?
yeah,
You
but
know what I
yeah,
mean?
So
Yeah.
it's
that's what I'm
not.
saying.
So it's
How
like
are
you
even
don't
gonna
need
grab that. The only way to get that pot down is what killed Artie.
what that pot would be used for is like a deep vat of oil that you drop a large
Okay,
thing
Mickey.
into to
Okay.
fry.
No, the answer is that
No,
pot would
that's
be used for
that sounds
nothing.
super
Hey,
dangerous.
Hold on,
I was
hold
thinking
on,
maybe like a
hold on,
Mickey's something.
hold
Another
on. Hear me out.
Mickey.
Hear
secret
me out.
4-foot
I'm
hot
sorry.
dog
There is
recipe
no
coming shortly.
explanation for this pot.
When
That
you're
pot is for cooking.
when
small
you're
children.
when you're deep
That's
frying a
all.
horse, when you're
Molly,
deep
you
frying
just
a
nailed
horse,
It's
it's like the
it's
Hansel
like
and
4
Gretel
feet
pot.
tall. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Only
Hansel and
witches
Gretel
use
pot.
that
Yeah.
pot, okay?
And there's a funny like thing that like it's like a thing filmmakers do where it's like just show the passage, there'll be a passage of time, but like the
Mhm.
screaming or crying is happening, and then a passage of time, and then that individual is still
Yeah.
screaming or crying,
Mhm.
and it's to great comedic effect in my opinion. And we've reviewed a movie where this happens, and that's Hereditary, when the
Mm.
mother is crying
Yes.
when she
Oof.
finds out the bad news, and
Yes.
then it
Oof.
cuts to the funeral and she's
Yes.
still crying. The
Oof.
concept that she's been crying that hard, that loud,
That
for that
long.
long is
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So poor Artie, he didn't deserve that. I really had a lot of sympathy for her.
You did, huh?
Oh my God.
Wait, is Artie
And
coming? Is
I'm
Artie coming down
sorry.
the steps right
And
now?
he's
Oh,
fine.
hey, look,
Michelangelo is-
Artie
is
just
now
came in.
Artie-
Artie just came
He's
in.
now
No, we have
uninvited
enough
to the
guests.
podcast.
Hey guys, hey,
Hey,
glad you invited
Artie.
me down.
Artie got what he deserved.
Ooh, look
Hey.
at this little chickadee over here. How you doing, Molly?
Ugh.
And
And then he comes out still buckling his belt, and everybody's like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
He even talks gross to the pot. Remember, to the pot? He's
does.
like,
Oh, yeah.
that's right, it's the pot.
He's just, you know what, he's just like, he's a guy who is like so it's like the
Disgusting.
guy
perverted.
perverted,
just
yes, but just
awful.
one of those creeps is like, it just sex is constantly on his mind because he has some like
Yeah, he's
weird
a
fucked up
molester.
relationship to it. I know that, Molly, but I'm saying like this is like that guy that like but not just like, it's not like his interest is just, it's like everything he's gonna be fucking gross and disgusting to. And so fewer Arties in this world.
So he got what he deserved.
He did get what he deserved.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty
Surprisingly,
cool.
he doesn't die.
I was
You know
gonna
what I
say,
mean?
but did he
There's-
live? We don't
Well,
know. Probably not.
like the special effects, it looks like he has like a chemical burn. That
I'd say
doesn't look like boiling water
Whoa.
burn.
Whoa,
and
Chris.
it's instant. It's
It's like-
instant, and it's just like
Yes.
blob off of his cheeks. That was a lot.
He's
Let's
like,
not hold this film to too much like accuracy. I thought that was a pretty good effect.
And then the bees,
Oh, it was a great effect.
the bee sting.
Ed
Sorry,
French.
I didn't mean
Ed
to jump
French,
ahead.
by the way, did the special effects in this, and I think
I mean, they
they're-
were
he
they
did
were
a-
mostly
good.
good.
amazing
Yeah, they were
job
good.
considering the
For
you
no
know,
budget,
$350,000
The
budget.
arrow in the throat looked good. That's not an
Yeah.
easy effect. That was a
Oh,
Mel-
great.
I- The actor who played Mel was like, I don't want to do that. They had to show
Sure.
he had to like show it on somebody else before he was like, okay, you're not gonna accidentally kill me.
Yeah, I don't
This
blame
is
him.
a guy who's literally dying. He's like,
Not yet.
I'm not gonna
Not
get hurt.
today.
in
Not
the
Of
today.
throat cancer. No, of lung cancer. Of lung cancer. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know what he died of.
I think it's lung cancer.
I think you said lung cancer because then I was like, oh, he's smoking that damn cigar the whole time.
Not helping his case.
I don't know if he actually ever smoked it. Does he ever actually smoke
He
it?
does. I saw him smoke it. Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
That sounded,
Yeah.
it sounded like a little kid. Oh yeah, he did. I saw him.
I saw him smoke
I
it.
saw
He
it.
did.
I saw it. I
He was
saw it.
smoking it.
I saw it. No, don't. No, I saw
I
it.
saw it happen.
Speaking of him real quick, I love him like the whole after it's Kenny's drowning, him like trying to like do the circle logic, talk everyone into, hey, he probably just drowned. Yeah, there's no one else around here that murdered anyone. The
Hey,
police
no,
officer
what?
was
You
saying
said,
it too, right?
so you said it was an accident, right? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, it was an accident.
Great police work in this
Amazing.
film.
Oh my God.
With a wonderful mustache.
Oh, that's where I was gonna go. Oh, the sweet,
sorry.
sweet stash. Right at the
So
end,
good.
when they linger on that shot and he turns his head, and you can
Perfect.
see the sticky
Spirit
part.
gum.
Yeah.
Who did a better
It's
job?
so
Not even
shiny.
spear gum. It's like white masking tape that's been drawn on with a
Yeah.
marker.
Yeah. It's like from the dollar store. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
It's who did it better? This movie with adding the mustache that was obviously shaved off, or the Justice League movie with
Superman. Yes.
Oh,
mustache
yeah.
being completely
This
removed.
movie did it better. This movie did
absolutely.
it better. Henry
Practical.
Cavill's
Yep.
like,
Whoa.
CGI, yeah.
I'm making fun of Henry Cavill, are we?
oh, that's Molly's
No,
like crush.
it's
Oh,
not Henry
after-
Cavill's fault.
After
Wait,
16
son.
years of marriage, one thing I learned is you don't make fun of Henry Cavill.
Sorry, Henry, they didn't mean it.
Henry, you're a handsome man. You look a lot like Ronnie. You got that Ronnie bod.
Very handsome Ronnie. I love the hat Ricky decides to wear to the
the big old cowboy hat.
Yeah,
that
it was
is-
good.
that takes some confidence throwing on
Yeah.
a hat like that.
Ricky is so cool.
Ricky is
Ricky's
cool.
fucking cool, dude.
He is.
He protects
He's
his
got- he's got a-
cousin.
He's got a filthy mouth, but he uses it when he needs to.
Mhm.
You know.
That's how he got the
like-
part. Apparently, was improving, like cursing.
Oh well, great. Well done.
All
I
after
do that
the
at most
film.
of I do most of my interviews. Unfortunately, it never works out.
Yeah, that's yeah. I worked once, buddy.
It
But
worked
no, Molly,
with
for like
us.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
a
you
good
got the
point.
job here.
for the last 2 days, like out of nowhere, Molly would go, "You chicken shit, fucking ass,
Yeah.
you
Some
chicken
chicken
shit."
shits.
I'm like, wow, you
Shits.
really being aggro,
I just
dude.
think it's something we don't say enough now, and we should bring it back. What's up, chicken
I-
shits?
So,
You know, it's like a little surprising. Yeah,
yeah,
it's good. It's good.
I agree. Drop at the next PTA meeting.
I don't go to those.
Oh.
Not that kind of mom. I know where my strengths are. Not there.
Michelangelo, I had a serious conversation, a thing to bring up with you. Do you think that if you
Oh.
went to camp, what was the name of this camp again? I can't. It's got a name.
Arawak.
Arawak. Ooh.
Do you think that you
Pedophile
would be
paradise.
an outcast because everyone wears crop tops covering the top part of their chest, and you try
Yes.
to reveal as much of your chest
Oh.
and cover your stomach as possible? So this be a
You have the
real
reverse.
I would,
Clash.
well, I
Yeah,
would,
you
like,
have the
I would
reverse
try to-
sleepaway camp.
Reverse
I would
crop.
try to acquiesce, and what would happen was I would end up with a thin piece of material covering some of my shoulders and across my nipples. And that's it. Akin to a bikini top, maybe.
like later
You know,
hosen,
or a
but just
halter
put out of a
or-
cotton t-shirt.
yeah, kind of like a later. Yeah. And full tube socks and boots.
Oh yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
those
Now we're
socks
talking.
were good. I did
Mhm.
love the socks.
I gotta tell
Speaking
you,
of-
I hate shorts. But if I'm going to wear
Not those
shorts, I
shorts.
feel more comfortable in shorts that are basically underwear.
You like short shorts.
So does Ronnie.
No,
Mhm.
so is everybody.
So does everybody
Everybody.
on that.
Yeah.
Also, that listen, I don't know if you guys have ever worn short jean shorts like that, but when they're tight, sometimes they're not super comfy.
No.
If you have balls and a penis,
Mhm.
right? I imagine it's very binding on the baseball scene where he's in the
It's also a little
Right.
freeing.
freeing.
Yeah, because you can go to one
Freeing,
side or the
freeing.
other.
Well,
With
they're
jean, are you
tight.
talking
You
jean
got
shorts? Now,
jean
athletic
shorts.
shorts, yeah.
Yeah.
Jean
But
shorts.
jean shorts,
Jean
yeah,
shorts,
you're
Mickey.
How
Right,
big
that's
you
it.
can
That's
you
it.
can
Mickey's
push it
putting
to
on
a
my jean
side.
shorts
You
right
can
now.
push it to a side.
I feel like it would just pop out
With,
the
like,
bottom.
With like tight denim. You draw a big
Yeah, and
Mason
you know
Dixon
that
line across your
that denim-
balls.
Denim is not all equal. That denim, that's non-stretch denim.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
thick.
80s.
Oh,
denim.
That's
they got
thick
no-
80s
yeah, thick
non-stretch
denim.
denim.
I need to mind this for a second. The Mason Dixon line of your balls. On you, Chris, which one is the north and which one is the south?
Oh, the right's definitely the South. It keeps talking about Southern heritage, and the left is saying we got to keep it together.
Your right ball's constantly waving that Confederate flag. But while we're on Arawak, the name of it,
I
I
thought you were
do,
gonna say
do.
while we're on balls.
The actual original name of that camp was Camp Algonquin,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
they
That the
changed it for the
director
movie
went to as a kid.
yeah, and they changed to Arawak. And do you know what Arawak is? The Arawak
Isn't it
tribe?
Yeah, it's a tribe.
No.
right?
Oh,
It was
really?
the first tribe that
It's the
Christopher
first. Oh, yeah.
Columbus
Yeah.
came across
They
when
were
he
the ones
landed.
that Christopher Columbus took out.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah,
Damn.
and very very cool culture actually. They
Mickey
the
probably
women.
has some.
Well, if you read the people's oh gosh, what's the name of the book?
The people's history of the United
Oh,
States. of
yeah,
Yeah,
America.
it opens up and talks
Howard
about
Zinn.
the Yeah, it talks about the Arawak people and like how their actual like their cultural hierarchy had
There
yes
it
the people's
is.
history of the United States.
Howard
It
Zinn.
had
People's
women
History.
as as high as men. There was no like patriarchy, and the women were
And
actually
Christopher Columbus came in and said, that's
yeah,
not how we
right.
do
Well,
it.
religion kind of changed that for them, but they were excellent swimmers and they provided a lot of like fishing and stuff like that for the tribe. So actually, very cool tribe. And when I saw Camp Arawak, I was like, well, that's kind of cool because those people were badass, and the women in that tribe were societally as valued as any other member of that society.
Like the Vikings.
And I have to say that at Camp Arawak, I thought the women had as much agency as the men. Do you agree, Molly, or no?
I haven't thought about it.
I actually thought they did.
MEG.
I hearken to the scene where the boys are trying to get them to skinny dip. If this had been an F-13, if this had been the burning, there would have been some gratuitous nude scenes of women
Actually,
swimming with
props to
them.
the girls. They did not
The
give
girls
in.
were like, "You sound like no." Well, it sounds like a
The
bad
boys are
idea.
definitely
No, thank
sexualized
you.
in this
And then the
more
boys
than
were
the
like,
girls.
we'll do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
I
Very
think,
boy reaction. Very boy reaction. Go like, fuck you. We're gonna fucking
We'll
get
do
naked
it.
and swim together
Yeah.
anyways.
but then we'll desperately want your attention, please.
Oh yeah.
Please.
You ever go?
Like,
You
watch
guys ever
this.
skinny dip? You guys ever skinny dip?
No.
No.
Especially
never
not in a
appealed to me.
lake.
Yeah. Ugh.
A lake is a bad idea because
Yuck.
things could bite you and
But
get
then
Yeah.
what is a good choice though? Rivers, cold. I mean,
Oof,
what have you
no.
skinny dipped in? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
What?
like
Yeah.
so
As
skinny
Michelangelo, as
dipping.
the skinny dip enthusiast of the podcast,
Yeah.
what would you recommend for a skinny dip for the listener?
If you go into your bathroom, there's this thing called the tub. And you fill that
Okay.
sucker up.
You skinny dip in your tub?
Hold on,
So
hold on.
smart.
I'm taking notes.
So smart. I'm
Okay.
so glad you guys
Bath,
are on here.
tub?
I'm glad
Yeah.
I can learn from you.
Soap. No, I snuck if you can sneak into a pool, I find that I will only skinny dip in a pool because I'm afraid of a turtle biting my privates or something.
Yep.
But like it does like if you're in a safe environment in a pool, it feels it's one of the most relaxed to feel the water just like go it just there's something like in a very non-sexual way there's
is
something
becoming
that just
so
feels very
serious.
natural about it and it just felt like it's a
probably
great
the
memory.
nakedness.
So it's
It's
not.
probably
I was
the
gonna say,
nakedness.
yeah. You'd like
Mhm.
being naked in water. It's got nothing to do about being sneaky or about being
Makes you
anything.
feel like you're back in the womb.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly. I thought of my mother.
Well, that's.
That's true of
Here
every
I go,
I was
guys.
gonna say, screw
I'm
everything.
jumping in my mama's womb, and then you just go skinny dip.
I mean, to
Great.
be fair, she's a
Yeah, the-
doer.
She is the
She is
doer.
doer.
Yeah. You get in the fetal position right in the water. Oh,
Sink right to the bottom.
Michelangelo does sink.
Barbarina.
No, but Michelangelo does sink. That's not. I know
I do
you're being
sink.
funny, but he does sink.
That's
do
why I said
sink.
he's just gonna sink right to the
You
bottom.
sink?
Because he jumps in, goes fetal
can't
position,
float.
and then just sinks to the bottom.
He doesn't
Can't
know how to
float.
float.
I don't float.
Hmm.
I don't float. Okay, and you're gonna be like I already went through this with them last summer. They're like, no, she'll show you how to float, and then we do it, and it's like, oh yeah, you sink. People,
No.
there's some people who sink, and some people, it's like, what is it like when
I
you're
believe you.
washing fruit? right? Is
No,
it
I
the
believe
shitty
you.
fruit floats and the good
Wait,
fruit sinks?
what?
Is that
That's not true.
That's how that
That's
works,
the
but
thing.
sure.
I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about turds. And yes.
You need
yes,
to
the
take that,
shitty turds versus the
shitty
good
turds?
turds.
You need to take that floating class taught by Pennywise.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I
y'all
do.
float
I
down
really
here.
do.
Yeah.
Just go in the
He'll teach
sewers.
you.
It's one of Chris's favorite segments of any book. Comes towards the end there.
Oh yeah, it's great. Not problematic at all.
Did you guys ever do the shaving cream prank that gets
Yes.
done on Mozart?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was a classic one to do,
We used to
right?
do the warm water too, because like if you put their
Yeah. Did
hand in
did
warm
that
water, you're
work?
supposed to pee the bed. I don't think it ever did.
Yeah, I
Neat
was gonna
thing to
say.
do to
Yeah.
somebody. You
Yeah.
know,
You're
there's a lot
mean
of
at that age to your friends, though.
It's
That's a part
also
of it. Yeah.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys the ones that stayed awake at the sleepovers?
Generally.
I never went to sleepovers. I slept over at friends' houses as the only individual sleeping over,
Aw.
but I never went to a
Aw.
sleepover.
Oh, we gotta fix that, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I was very
Should we
happy
have a
with
sleepover?
how my childhood went regarding sleepovers. But yes, I would love a sleepover
Were
now.
you?
Are you kidding me?
Were you happy, or do you not know if you were happy about it because you never experienced the group sleepover?
Fair enough. And a lot of my
Ooh.
childhood and life has been filled with depression and fear and anxiety. So
You need you need some Aunt Martha therapy.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
what you need.
why I think I think I need a whole bag of it.
Yes, a whole bag.
I
Yes.
tied the string around my finger to remind myself that I am depressed and that I have anxiety and
Ring around my finger.
um
I'll tell you a shaving cream funny story. So one of our best friends, Justin, he's a neighbor of ours. I probably mentioned him on the podcast before, but we were adults. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and we were doing a job where we were, like this was during the pandemic. We had to go
Is this when
away.
he stole the toilet paper from you?
No, this is not that. But this is when we were all down for that early version of the Air Force job. But we're down there, and he falls asleep. He is a chronic napper. He's one of those guys that just if he can find a time to nap, he'll find a time to nap. And we were in between doing stuff, and we were back at the house. But we got an Airbnb, and he was like, "I'm going to take a quick nap, guys." And I was sitting there with a bunch of group of people that we were working with. I was like, "I'm going to shave and cream him," because his hand was like right there. So I put shaving cream on it, tickled his nose. He went full bore. Shaving cream in the face.
Did I see this?
No, this was the one where Christine went.
Oh, okay.
So full shaving cream on the face, and we were all laughing, having a great time. He, obviously wakes up from it, looks up. I've never seen anger in somebody's eyes like that. He was
That's
so
why he
angry.
took the toilet paper from you.
He
It was
got up and came running
getting bad
towards
again.
me and the other guy who did it, like he was going to hurt us. And we got so scared we ran outside just to get away, and he locked us out of the house for an hour. And we couldn't get back in. And then when we did get back in, not to me, but to the other guy, he cut a hole in the crotch of every one of his underwear.
that's a ridiculous response.
It is, isn't it? I agree.
A little
I was like,
yeah.
I will never be able to prank you again because how far you take the prank.
That's why he does it.
And that poor
Pretty
guy
harmless
that did
prank,
that too.
shaving cream prank. You know?
Yeah, but that poor guy that he did the underwear to, it was like that guy was like, "That's all my underwear." It's like I brought literally every pair of underwear I own, and they all have
Aw.
holes in the crotch now.
I would be so upset.
Yeah, it was upsetting.
Go to Target, spend $20, but
My
the worst thing in the
underwear is
world.
my underwear is expensive.
Oh.
I wear good underwear.
cool. 1%
Bro.
underwear,
No,
Michelangelo.
wow.
over here.
Wow. Weird flex. Weird flex, Michelangelo.
Excuse me, my underwear
a
are
status thing, it's a
expensive.
comfort thing.
Yeah,
It
I get
happens
it.
to be
Uh-huh.
Because
expensive. So
the
if
more
someone
expensive they
destroys-
are, the better they are. That's
Well,
right.
no, that's
Cheap
not
underwear
okay,
was really
okay,
chafing the golden pants that you were wearing
Yeah.
while you're eating your Fabergé eggs, probably.
I eat Fabergé eggs. Michelangelo, why are you? That's a lot of like. You could be selling those eggs and buying food.
There's a lot of blood pouring out of the sides of your mouth.
Don't tell me how to eat. Judy,
Oh, Judy.
man,
Judy.
Judy Judy just wants to watch the world burn, I think.
Yeah.
While she's
Right?
making out.
Watch
With
the
a
world
dude.
burn. Jeez.
She, most people don't know this, but she survived the camp and went on to become a psychologist. Tried to help this crazy dude out, ended up falling
Yes.
in love with him.
Yes.
They're together to this day.
Wait, what?
No Harley Quinn backstories.
It was a hard, stupid joke. What the fuck's up with Judy, right?
How come Angela gets to talk to the boys all day? And we have to play volleyball. What's she? Special? So how about it, Angela? Let's go for a swim. Oh, what's the matter? You afraid? Huh? Huh?
Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
I
want a
know,
female
I know.
perspective.
I know. She got some boobs.
She got
That's
the
what it
boobs,
is.
She got some
She got the
Tude.
boob.
Boobs. She got
Tude
the
from the
boobs.
boobs?
She got the Tude, and she likes to make out.
But
Okay.
not too wet.
Do you have to kiss so wet?
Sorry.
Not
too
too
wet.
wet. And then she likes to put her arm up and she likes to cock her head real awkward sideways. Just go in for it.
So Molly, were there? And now I don't know this because I did not have the girl like
You weren't a girl?
I was not in the girl room talk.
Mm.
But were there Judys when you were growing up, like girls that like all of a sudden maybe blossomed a little bit earlier than the other girls, and
Yeah.
therefore acted like total mean people to the other girls? Were there mean girls like that?
I mean, there's always mean girls, but I don't know if it's because they got boobs first. But yeah, I mean, you're always kind of jealous of the boobs first, though, you know?
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, you are a little bit. It's like the bra is a whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Some girls get to wear a bra earlier than others, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, but yeah, there's always mean girls.
But you don't think they don't become mean girls because of the boobs? They're
I
probably
think the
mean girls
boobs make
before.
them mean girls. I think mean girls are just mean girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boobs are not.
Mickey, your theorem that the bigger the breast size, the meaner the woman.
Yeah.
That is not a direct corollary, my man.
Proven wrong. Proven wrong. We could here's the thing. Without Molly here, the three of us could have talked about that for 30 minutes. With Molly here, it's like not
Shut
a thing.
down
Shut down.
fast.
That explains why you're always punching the Playboys. Like, fucking mean.
Oh, dude, these mean girls. How do they find all
Wow,
these mean girls in
must
one
be
magazine?
So mean.
Real quick, in defense of Judy and Meg, although that
Oh,
they're
in
like,
defense?
yeah, okay, hold
why?
on, hold,
Why?
hold.
And okay, go on with what you were saying in defense of Judy and Meg and Artie. Go ahead.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
one of these is a hero.
Mute
the
him.
other two,
Somebody mute him. Somebody mute him.
Once you figure out what I'm talking about.
Somebody hit mute.
No. So Judy and Meg, like, they're needlessly mean to a level that is like is ridiculous. At the same time, I will say, if you were like, getting to a cabin situation with your friends and strangers, and there's this girl that you've never met before who is just staring at you in a catatonic stare
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
and
weird.
doesn't say a word, you're gonna probably, especially at like teenage years, kind of become a bit of a bully to them. You know what I mean? Like,
I
that's
disagree
You
with
have to be
probably-
a bully to
No,
them,
I
but
wouldn't.
I'm saying to a level that is unrealistic, but I'm
If
just
you're
saying
a dick, you could become a
they're
bully to
gonna-
somebody
they're
like
gonna
that.
be the ostracized weirdo, and there's probably gonna be some stuff going down. So that's
unless
why.
you're that
Look,
you're that
I'm just
sweet
saying,
counselor
unlike
girl.
you three, I'm not saying that Judy deserved to be raped by a curling iron, but you three do, and it's very
Oh.
strange. And
So
can
I make a comment about that curling iron? It
Yes,
was not
please do.
even on. It was not even on. She curls that little tiny strand of hair, and then when she lets it go, the hair goes floop. It's just straight hair, no curl.
and the faked singe marks whenever she picks
When
like
it
the
picks
hand
it
picks
up
it up,
off
it's
the
like the weird
blanket.
like black, like
and then,
that's not
and
what
then
a
her
singe would look
hands
like.
go up in the shadows.
Jazz hands.
Yeah.
Jazz hands. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Did you ever get burned from a curling iron?
Oh, please. So many times.
Fucking
Actually,
hurts.
it hurts so bad. It's like 400 degrees or something.
Now, why do you think Angela leaves the clamp open?
I don't know what she does. What does she do?
It's going in her vagina, according to
It is?
Felissa, the actress who
implied.
plays
Wait,
Angela.
how does that kill her?
Oh, I wouldn't.
She has an orgasm so intense that she dies.
Oh,
Her
that's it.
heart
Heart attack.
bursts.
Heart
Yeah.
attack.
This is the real burning, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, Angela. No. Hey, Judy. I heard you like it hot, huh?
She doesn't like it wet. I mean, it's
That's
not
true.
exactly
Doesn't
an
like it
equal
wet.
opposite
It's
thing,
like
but,
hot and dry.
Super dry.
Yeah.
Super dry.
hot and dry.
Yeah, I was confused on how a curling iron could kill you.
Well, there was a scene that they had for that to show Judy's aftermath, but they had to remove it. I know
I'm
it's
not surprised.
yeah, it's definitely not on any version you can find, but they did have like a post Judy scene.
So it is just for effect, because also when you die, your hands it's like your hands immediately stick up.
Jazz hands.
But if you're having an intense orgasm,
But that's, I guess, a question, right? Like, is she being killed by that action, or is she also being suffocated with the pillow over the face?
Yeah, that's
Like,
probably
that was actually
a
killing
more
her.
likely
Like, the other things, like the
case.
torture end. But
Yeah.
then why would you?
Yeah,
If you're being
it's like I'm gonna
suffocated, you would
torture
fight
you
back.
and then
Wouldn't like be
kill you.
like,
Yeah,
No, she's
true.
got.
I don't
Judy's
know.
got
It's a
blue
mystery.
balls from Mike, so she doesn't have the strength from the blue balls to
Oh.
fight back.
she needs more of that vitamin E.
I don't think Mike got her near there. I don't think that's.
Oh, Mike was the good. Like, by the way, Mike, stick around. Lightning doesn't strike twice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Mel already stopped in. You're in the clear now.
Yeah.
I think he
Well-
just doesn't like.
Also, Mel just
Judy.
barges in. He just
Yeah, into the
No
all-girls
knock.
cabin.
Yeah.
Yes.
no
Yeah.
nothing. Well,
Yep.
I mean, listen, MEG, like he
True.
likes the girls, I guess, and thinks he has permission. Now he's feeling confident, with the
Oh.
ladies.
Yeah.
Now,
So he just barges on in.
let me ask you this. Do you guys, so at this point in the movie where Mel and Ronnie, right before we have the scene where they're like, there's only 25 campers left, right?
There's way more than 25 campers left in the next shot.
But it's like, are you guys as parents, are you going to keep your kids or your
In the
kid
camp?
in the camp?
No.
What if you're on
hell
vacation,
no.
having a great vacation?
You leave. You leave.
There's been 3 deaths in like 4 days or whatever, or 5
But the
days.
Pull
parents
your
don't
kid out.
know. But the parents don't know. Mel's trying
You're
to
going to
hide
lose your
that stuff.
deposit.
True.
Mel's trying to hide it. He's like, "Oh, it was an accident. It was an accident. It was an accident." Yeah.
Okay, now that Molly's voiced her ridiculous opinion, can I hear your opinion, Mickey, as to what you would do?
It depends.
Yeah, there you go.
Molly,
It
don't look at him.
depends.
Don't look at him.
It depends. Here's the thing,
Drink some more
right?
champagne and answer the fucking
I'm gonna
question.
go get my
Mickey.
curling iron.
It depends. If I'm getting calls from Mel, the director, and he's like, damnedest thing happened. Kid's allergic to bees. Bees got him. You know what I mean? I'd be like, I understand. The kids are having a great time. It's fine. I'd be like, okay, keep them there for that one. Then if it's Artie getting burned, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Get that guy out of there. I don't care. He got burned because he
No,
was a
on the
dumbass. around
second
the corner.
one, you go, this is weird.
I don't know that I do. And then what was the kill right before
Kenny.
like they lost?
Kenny was
Kenny
before, and then
drowned.
Billy
Yeah.
with the bees.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Kenny,
the drowning.
I mean, a drowning kid at a sleepaway camp. I mean, I just know that's
big deal.
par for the course.
Yeah, but that, you know what that tells me? That tells me people aren't paying attention, and that tells me
Yeah.
I'm going to pick him up.
So you, someone who loves Friday the 13th films, is like, yeah, if it's a sleepover camp, I'm sure the counselors are going to be off having sex and some of the kids are going to drown.
Exactly. Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
kids are going to drown. It's not going to be mine. Mine
you know.
knows how to swim. Mine's going to know how to swim. It's going to be fine.
I like it. The media
Or-
hasn't changed your beliefs.
Camp-
We-
Our youngest did go to sleepaway camp
He did.
twice.
Did he take any
Twice.
wicked shits?
Probably.
Oh, he took some wicked shits.
Probably.
You know he did. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
When you're
It was
eating- when you're
awful.
eating
It was
that-
so-
that-
I
that-
hated it.
That food that they eat at those camps, you're taking wicked shits. And also like
Powerhouse
Campbell's-
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Those were a protein bar. I looked this up. Those were a protein bar back then, but it wasn't like protein bars now. It was labeled as a protein bar. It was still a candy bar, but it had nuts in it, so it was like protein.
Protein.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it had like
Gotcha.
3 grams of protein. Yeah.
10
Which is not
peanuts.
that far
It's
off
protein.
from like modern day protein bars, to be honest.
I mean, as far as like, yeah, it's still a fucking candy bar. But do we like what happened to Billy? Does Billy deserve to die
Which one?
while taking a shit from getting stung by the bees?
Oh, that
Billy's
also
a
was
pretty big dick.
confusing. I mean,
He's
I guess
awful.
Is he allergic? I don't know.
No, they're
Well, the bees
bees
attack
are
also-
for some reason.
wearing into his flesh somehow.
I know. I was like, wow, that does
It
not
looks
happen.
good. It
That
looks
does
good.
not
it looks
happen.
good.
Really
It's
good,
not
yeah.
reality,
It
but
doesn't look
good.
real. It looks
Well, those-
good. Sure,
Those
it
were
looks
Africanized
gory,
bees. Okay.
but it doesn't look real.
That's not
it
that
looks like
different.
it looks like it happened like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something. You know.
Do you guys remember
but
that Africanized bees?
Yeah, they're still a thing.
No.
They're not that aggressive.
It's
I
just.
will bee
They're-
knowledge
they're-
your ass.
I was gonna say, Chris, did you?
They'd be aggressive to Mickey.
As a person who's recently purchased some bees and will be a beekeeper, how realistic did you find?
Not at all. I mean, bees are very gentle unless you like fuck with their shit. Now, if you got the hive thrown into them, then yeah, like that. But they would more than likely be attacking whoever was carrying it. So Angela carrying it on a stick, they would go after her way before they got to the outhouse.
Yeah, and
they
also if
wouldn't be able to
somebody
kill it.
does that, I'm gonna slouch down. I'm gonna crawl under.
Yeah, exactly, right? Or climb
I'm
over the
gonna
top
be
too. He's a
real
muscular guy.
slow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know I'm gonna get a
But
sting.
You're also you're not considering how wicked the shit was.
That's true.
Yeah,
Oh,
he couldn't go
true.
below
So he's got
the line.
True.
he's got like shit in his ass, and he can't get on his get
Yeah.
down to climb because too much shit in his ass is coming out. I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in
Forcing
a
him up.
predicament.
Do you think that was his
Uh-huh.
audition? That was his audition.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that right
sure.
there?
Let's see them leg muscles.
I have had an audition where I had to pretend like I was on a toilet. I'm just putting that
I've
out
heard
there.
of this one. Yes.
was it at least like a
got the
stomach
part.
medicine or something like that? Or
I got the part. No,
Oh, there you
just
go.
taking a pee.
gotta-
Just taking a pee.
fair.
Yeah, Molly got cast in a movie
got it.
because she was the best at taking a pee.
That was the best.
The best.
The
Mhm.
best.
Speaking of the best, you guys ever
Artie.
shower? You guys ever shower in groups?
Oh yeah, all the time. Military baby.
Not Angela, apparently. She never showers with the girls.
No. I mean, I feel like
Yeah, no, also.
I'm like I don't need to do that. I'm I'll just go
Yeah.
especially back in school, I played basketball and football, and we had showers, but no one used them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
you're-
I had football players that used.
I know that. I
Really?
know that.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson has used the showers. When they do football camp during high school and they do the 2-a-days,
Mhm.
they're there all day.
I think you have to. By high school, it's like a mandatory thing if you're doing sports to take a
Yeah.
shower. At least it was
As a
where I grew
girl,
up.
I have never showered in a group.
In the military, you shower as a group as just a part of that's life.
Mhm.
Still,
I mean, I don't do it
When's
as
the last
much
time?
now.
When's the last time?
That's what he says here whenever we're
A
done with our
couple-
shift.
He's
uh,
just trying to sound cool.
No, probably within a year or so, I have had to take a shower with other men in the same shower.
I mean, there was only one stall, but it was a good time.
Yeah,
It was just one. It
Yeah, I
was
was
just
gonna
one,
say,
and they all
isn't it as
decided to
awesome
just
as it
go at the
seems?
same time. They're like, "Well, we
It's
can
great.
save time."
it's great. It's about efficiency. It's like
Save some
I
money.
will
Military
put the
efficiency.
soap down my front, and then I'll soap your back with my front,
Uh-huh.
and then you will then soap my back with your front.
I don't need this. I don't
It's
need
like
this.
it's like a bobsled team, but a shower.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where's John Candy? That's what I want to say.
In my
Happy
heart.
anniversary, Molly.
Yeah. Thanks.
Chris is like a big old Brillo pad. We just
Yeah, we just
up and then
rub something. We just rub it
rub
around.
all over him. He lays
Yeah,
down him. He's
go.
this little slip and slide Brillo
Yeah,
pad.
yeah. He's just a big loofah.
Speaking of news,
He's
how
a
about
big
that
loofah.
We do need to get to the ending, but I do wanna bring up Paul.
Of course.
Wait, which one's Paul?
Paul's the
Paul
boy who likes
is
Angela.
Ricky's friend who likes
right.
Angela.
Mhm.
Sweet Paul. Paul, I was like, where do I know this kid from? And it's
Yes,
not
him.
necessarily that I knew he's been in stuff, but he was friends with and looks a lot like Corey Haim.
Haim,
And
yes.
I
Oh.
bet you they went out for a lot of the same parts, and he was actually a
100.
pallbearer at
Probably.
Corey Haim's funeral.
Wow,
So
really?
I imagine that, like, maybe he worked as a stand-in for Corey Haim.
That's
They
what
went
makes
out for a
sense.
lot of the
thought, yeah.
same things. They were friends. He like I think out of all the kid actors, he is uh, the most like talented and professional out of the bunch. And it makes
Mhm.
sense that he kind of like had a career.
I don't
No.
know. I thought Angela was great.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she's
like
really
them
good.
all. I like them all. Uh,
But
and this brings up a subject that I wanted to touch on, and that's so in this film, the filmmaker was very adamant about, like, you go see these movies and you got like 20 somethings playing teenagers, right? And he was like, I wanted to capture what it was like being a kid at camp, right? And I think when you decide to cast actual kids, you're writing a very fine line, right? In what your subject matter is going to be and how you're going to execute that with kids. And if you're intentionally making a slasher film, you get into really uncomfortable territory, and I think that's where something like Friday the 13th, why they never use kids is because it's like,
Mhm.
no, we want these people to die and they got to work long hours and we're going to see some nudity, and it's like all okay and it's all above board because everyone's of age, and it can be difficult with kids unless you're the subject matter that you're talking about and the direction is spot on, something like Lost Boys or Stand By Me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to have solid stories and really good direction. And I know, Chris, you're not as big a fan of Lost Boys as Mickey and I are. Um, uh, but it's just like, it's a fine line to walk.
Well, I mean, but, like, I mean, I agree with like, if we're saying, like, slashers and some of, like, the more adult content that, like, is a little weird for, like, kids to be a part of it, but there's a lot of bad films with kids in it. You know what I mean? That like, Meatballs, even like the second, third one, all that type of stuff. They've got,
Yeah. I think the
10-year-olds
first
in it.
Meatballs is pretty great. Little
Yeah, first
Darlings
Meatballs,
is
eh,
pretty
it's
crazy, but great. Well,
I
there's
feel like it
fun,
doesn't hold up
goofy
as
summer
well
camp.
as I like, yeah. I watched
Save
it
it
not too
for the
long ago. I was like,
meatballs.
the Meatballs episode.
Ladybugs.
Man, I
Basically
haven't
the
seen that one in
story.
forever.
Basically the story, but the comedy version of it.
I want to make a soccer comedy sleepaway camp. That's
Yeah.
I'm
how
just saying, when
Ladybugs was
you're
made.
intentionally making like genre film, like horror, exploitation, something of that kind, to actually use real kids. I mean, that's a
Mhm.
slippery slope you're on, and you know the script is not solid,
Is
right?
there
So
any horror scenes though with kids in it?
you see a lot of asses.
Um,
Um,
Angela at the end.
Angela at
But
the
that's a
end,
mask. That's a mask,
Judy seeing
and
the
Yeah, that's my
vagina.
Oh,
fault.
is it?
it's a mask, and it's a college
You mean
boy.
that's
It's a
real?
college age boy that needed the money.
Oh, I want to talk about that too. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Probably.
Oh
Have you have you
boy.
have you heard of Joe Bob's theory?
No.
What's Joe Bob's theory?
So back in the day before HD, he thought that maybe he didn't believe that it was an actual penis. He thought it was a mangled small penis, and that in the boat accident, something happened to Peter, and Peter's penis was
Penis
mangled,
got
and that's
mangled?
Mm,
why
Oh, no,
this
no,
isn't part
no.
of it.
no.
This
No,
is
no,
just his
no.
theory.
No, no. It was
Yeah,
a very upper level boat accident.
yeah.
No,
That's an upper level boat
there's no
accident, not a lower boat
there
accident.
were no below the necks. Okay. There was
Side
no
note,
penis mangling.
have you guys ever driven a boat before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually don't
Sailboats and
think
motorboats.
so.
Yeah, like a motorboat. It's not
Yeah.
hard. It's very
No.
easy.
Like a golf
And so
cart.
yeah, and so
No.
it's very funny. Just like
You can't. I mean, obviously, stopping power.
Well, guys,
is
listen.
not
When you
the
put
same,
girls
but-
behind the wheel, right?
Yep.
am
There
no,
you
that's
go.
true.
Yeah,
Women,
That's the
drivers.
answer.
They can't be doctors and they're not good drivers.
No way she's a doctor.
Now, why? Why? I ask you, why is Angela
We
the
don't know.
killer?
Oh
What?
yeah. Also,
Why?
why?
Drama.
I kept saying that the whole time too. I was like, but
Well-
why? Why is somebody? Why is somebody even killing all these people? Just because why?
Because it's a horror movie.
Well, that could be one
Just
reason.
because?
I also
Well-
think if you're trying to give motive to Angela,
Because have you met Aunt Martha?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I was
part of
actually gonna say. I mean, like, actually, if there's a lot of serial killer stories out there, like real life serial killer stuff, that like a lot of it comes from like fucked up kind of sexual roles and gender roles when you're a kid that then amounts to rage when they're into young
Mhm,
adolescence.
mhm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, there is some like, yeah, that kind of shit does happen in the world.
Yeah.
Like it could just be that Angela is just a serial killer.
And the
Well,
trauma
there's-
of being raised as a girl pushed her
Yeah.
Well, I
to-
don't know. Does trauma push someone to be a serial killer, or are you just a serial killer?
Ooh,
No,
nurture
that's,
nature.
That's, I'm with you, Molly. I think that
I
like
think you're born with something.
yeah, because people get
Mm.
molested and have terrible things happen to them and don't become bad people.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
trauma doesn't make you do
Well,
bad
but-
things.
That's not how the world works, though. Everything's not a zero-sum game. Like one action equates to everything 100%.
It's not black and white. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. I know, but that like I think she's just pointing out the other point of view as opposed to what you were saying about like, well, some serial killers have this trauma and then they become serial killers, and she's just I think you're just pointing out like, and
I
some
was saying
people
about
don't.
Molly, you were saying that.
Wait, what was I saying?
Molly, you weren't saying that?
Wait, what?
That trauma doesn't make you a serial killer.
Oh yeah, I said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's
I-
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm saying
Well-
that if we're saying that serial killers aren't made, serial killers are triggered. Then,
Possibly.
yeah.
So you're saying woke America is to blame for all the serial killers?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Basically it.
You're trying to stop the
If-
serial killers.
If we're gonna give motive to Angela, then my small like pea brain thesis is that she suffered trauma as a kid by losing her brother and her father, or losing her sister and her father.
hmm
Then was forced to be a gender that maybe she doesn't feel is her gender.
Honestly, probably should be they too, because
They.
we don't actually know what
We don't know.
gender,
True.
what
Yeah, we
they
don't-
want to be.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right.
Yeah.
We
So
don't
so
know how
honestly, yeah.
accepting
We don't know,
Angela
yeah.
is of that or not.
But being
Yeah,
forced
Angela
to
isn't a
be
closeted trans person. They're a
no.
person
It's
who's
been
forced
to
on them.
live life
Angela
as a girl.
Angela
Right,
is
exactly.
is who she is as far as she knows, right? Because at a young age
and
she was
and
told
I think that during her sexual awakening, she's also being extremely bullied,
Mhm.
and she takes her vengeance out in a very aggressive way towards all these people. And it's one of those things, and this is why I do appreciate that the end isn't about killing the bad. It doesn't finish with like some patriarchal character or some matriarchal character coming in and taking out Angela. It just ends on Angela, finishing her, kill of that group. So I think that there's something about that makes this film more interesting to talk about, because there isn't like there's no hero
Well,
that we're trying to.
Ricky is kind of a hero.
Ricky is kind of a hero, but I just mean like, it's like in most of these films, that person is then slain or fought at the end.
Yeah,
right?
no, it just ends. Yeah.
Yeah, it
it
just
just
ends on
ends.
her
It just ends with our
It-
discovery of who we thought Angela was is maybe is not necessarily who Angela is.
I think it makes it more interesting.
It is though, like, so twofold like things to that, right? Like one, like though it's funny because it does end on like she's a man, like almost like that's the justification or the reason for why this has happened. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Which is then like, well, that's kind of that's weird. And
Yeah.
Wait,
not,
do you think
what are you
that's why you
saying?
think that's why they say that?
well, that's just what Ronnie, that's the last line
I
of the
know,
film.
yeah. He says, "Oh, she's a man." Yeah. I
That's
don't
the
know.
like, so I mean, that's the like as a
I
viewer,
almost
that's
just-
almost given as the justification there.
Yeah, I didn't think about it
Very
that way.
xenophobic.
Yeah, so if that's the intention, it could just be clumsiness. I am not trying
Yeah.
to make any sort of claim there.
I didn't.
Um,
Why? No, I just didn't think about it that way. I was just like, actually, you know what? I didn't think real deep about any of it until just now.
which is
You
probably
probably
best.
shouldn't.
Which
Yeah,
is
it's
probably
probably
best.
need. It's
Yeah.
probably not
Mickey
worth the
started
brains
talking to me
space.
about it afterwards, and I was like, "Listen, I'm not getting real deep about this film, okay?"
Yeah.
I think that's something that I was kind of wondering what your guys' thoughts were. Was do you think Ricky knows, like,
Oh, about Angela?
about
Yeah.
Angela? Do you
I
think
think
that he's
so.
knowledgeable?
I
or
do.
you think
Ricky
he's
would have to know.
protective? Would he?
And maybe that's why. You know what? Maybe that's why Ricky is more protective
I
because
think it's why he's short. Yeah.
He-
Why he
Wait,
jumped?
physically short.
No, why he jumped so quickly to
Oh.
being that
Yeah, he's so
violently like
protective. Because
protective
the
of
whole
her
time we think that he's protecting his female
cousin.
cousin, when in reality he still is protecting his perhaps female
Mhm.
cousin, but in a different way than we all thought.
Mhm.
It would make sense that he would know.
He would know. I think.
But I don't
think
think
Ricky
that he
knows.
knows.
I don't think he does. And
I don't-
and I think
I
that
don't think
there.
the
I mean, like,
writing's there, you know?
I mean, I don't think even like the first scene doesn't even set that up because
Right.
if he would be really protective of any teenager that would be slightly even mean to Angela, then why would he be so like kind of like mom's at it again with Angela towards mom?
And why
who's
would he
the
let
perpetrator
Paul
of the
around her?
biggest? Yeah,
Well,
like
hold
exactly.
on.
Right?
Well,
But what? Hold on. But
because why would he keep Paul from
also
her though? Either because maybe that's just because even if Ricky does know, why would he
Maybe
stop any sort
Ricky's-
of human connection between
Ricky's
the two of them?
okay with her being on a spectrum, and if she wants or he wants or
You're giving this way too
They-
much fucking
I don't
credit.
think
to-
she's on a
well,
spectrum.
but Ricky, no, not on a spectrum mentally. I meant on a spectrum like
Gender.
of her gender, like
Sexuality.
sexuality.
Okay.
But I will say that
think
Ricky's
Ricky has to know. They've grown up
very
together
he's
in the
very
same
clear to
house.
his mom when she goes, "Don't let people know that how you got the
That
But
is
help form
true.
signed."
Documents.
Ricky's statement
never
isn't like,
tell or whatever.
okay.
Yeah,
He goes,
that's a
well,
good
I
point.
definitely won't tell. He makes it
Yeah,
very
that
very
doesn't
pointed.
that's not proof one way or the other.
But also,
Mm.
it's not Ricky's business to tell Paul, "Hey, I know that you think you like a girl, but guess what?" Like,
I think
it's-
Ricky's just
it's
really
Ricky's
woke.
business. I
Well,
think,
but
I think
wouldn't
Ricky's
he-
like, whatever. Paul and Angela like each other, so what? Who cares? And Paul's nice to Angela, and Angela likes Paul, and like, cool, because Angela doesn't really have any friends, and she likes Paul. That's nice.
I think what you're saying makes sense in the context of now with everything we know, but Ricky back then, if he knew,
He
I
has
don't
to
think he
know.
knows.
I do. I don't think you live in a house with
think you're-
somebody and don't know.
You're right. What I'm saying is that it's incompetence in writing. What you're
Yeah.
saying is logical and makes sense. For this movie, nothing.
Because what if they share a bedroom? But a doctor, so probably different bedrooms.
Yeah.
No, but still, you'd like I grew up with a sister. You
Yeah,
know what
you
I
would
mean?
know.
It's like,
Yeah, you would know.
You just
Yeah,
know.
you know.
Yeah, you would know. Yeah, Ricky knows. But also
don't
Ricky
know.
doesn't care. Ricky's just like, that's my cousin.
I think that one thing that like I've been kind of thinking a little bit about this film coming up into this conversation is that like it's important to like divorce having any sort of that this film has any say or stance on gender politics
Exactly.
and sexuality. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like I
You're
don't
right.
think that this
But
film
also,
wants
but
to get
also can we
into
say
it.
it's like 1983, right?
Yeah.
This is also
It's like
but-
very forward.
But
It's, like, very
I
progressive.
understand what you're saying, Chris, and I agree with it. But I also think that, and I've always said this about all the films we watch, and I'll always say this: there is the
Always.
writer, there's the director, and then there is the viewer, and those three people are allowed to create and interpret and and
Sure.
see things that they see. I think that there are a lot of films, and we'll say A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 is like that, where, was the writing like very dense and not very, I mean, were they not really like, there wasn't a lot of thought put into it. Was the
This
director
is
trying to
intentional,
say
though.
something
Yeah.
This
about,
is intentional.
about Angela?
like,
Yes, but Ricky, no. I don't think that Ricky isn't intentionally like, I didn't take from it that he didn't know. I actually walked away from the film thinking he probably did know.
Yeah, I don't.
I didn't even think about it
did,
because
I
when it was
think-
over, I said, "That's it," and then I went to bed.
I will say, Chris, to sort of comment on what you just said about like that not being intentional, or just piggybacking off of what you said. I was, in doing my research for this, the director, he could be a very fantastic person, but the way I felt after learning about them is, they're very mysterious. They don't talk. They, for years, didn't talk about the film. Won't explain things. And there are words that get thrown around like genius, amazing, ahead of its time, progressive, pushing the envelope.
I said progressive.
The director also has said that Academy Award winning and BAFTA winning director writer Neil Patrick Jordan ripped off this ending for 1992's Crying Game.
I actually thought of the Crying Game and watching this again.
He comes
Oh, I
off
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
he comes
Yeah.
off very, very pretentious, and I think he got lucky, and I think he made a film that is enjoyable to watch because it is bad. It is not like, there are things that are good about it, but
Absolutely.
it makes no fucking sense. And to
No.
try to make sense of it is a fool's errand. And that's what I've been doing during our conversation, is how do we make sense of this? And then the answer is you can't.
You
And
don't.
I really dislike it that he tries to pull off this sort of like, this guy ripped me off. I'm not saying this guy is not David Lynch. He didn't have some sort of
Wait, is
progressive
the director
master plan.
is the director the writer?
Yes, he wrote it
same-
and
okay.
directed. This is the only thing other than, I think he was involved in the 2000.
Yeah. Sleepaway Camp 5.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
but like,
what? Wait, there's 5?
there he sold the rights off, and they made some sequels that are intentionally campy, and then they made like a
Oh,
direct
shit.
sequel to this.
Wow.
I don't think he's some sort of like genius man. You know what I mean? This goes in the annals of like The Room and Miami Connection, and it's just like a happy accident that it is so entertaining as it is. But do not get your like, and hey, if
Don't
the
get your
trans
panties in a
community
wad.
or the LGBTQ community wants to take positive things out of this and own it and let that be their thing, that's
Great.
totally cool. But do not think for 1 second that this guy intentionally wrote anything progressive when it comes to sexual identity or where you fall on the
So
spectrum.
we think that he was just like, oh, at the end, let's just make Angela a dude. It was more
I
like
think,
that.
I think it was just
it was
like,
less
Yeah.
like
it was
a
exploitation. It was
complicated
like,
story, and it was less like an identity story and more of just like oh, I know, let's like twist it and make her a dude.
it's a Friday the 13th ripoff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
With some good things going on. And by the way, Friday the 13th, as we've discussed a bunch, is a ripoff
Of
Halloween.
Halloween.
So
Yeah.
it's just like, that doesn't mean you can't have interesting things within the film, right? But like, I love that it's celebrated and enjoyed by people to this day, but just don't make it something that it's not. It's not some sort of progressive story about sexual identity. You know, I'm not saying you guys are saying that. This is just from the research.
No,
Mickey and Molly.
Do you understand?
Either because the whole time I was like, "What? Why? What is happening? Why are they doing this? Oh my god, that's it!" Like that was my whole experience.
And that's the experience you should be having.
I guess that's one thing real quick. Have any of you guys watched any of the sequels or anything? Doesn't any of the Sleepaway? Yeah,
No.
neither have I.
No,
Never.
I was shocked to know that there were 5.
the one thing I know, well, actually two things, I guess. Of course, the lead, I guess, I don't know if it's supposed to be Angela or someone else in the second, third one is Bruce Springsteen's sister.
Yeah. She plays
yeah.
the Angela part.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then the cover of I think it's the third one. It's Angela with like a backpack and the Freddy Krueger hand is in the backpack. Yeah.
Iconic image.
Yeah, very.
For sure. But I imagine, like, I haven't watched them because it's like they
I
made
kinda
a
want
sequel
to,
to Samurai
honestly.
Cop. They made a sequel to Samurai Cop, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna be good, right?
Samurai Cop wasn't good.
Samurai Cop is a masterpiece, ahead of its time, progressive, really pushed the envelope.
Very progressive.
I had never heard of the first Sleepaway, let alone the four to follow. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Well, we have a sleepover. Maybe we can.
Yeah.
Hey, there we
It
go.
is a good sleepover.
10,
I will
10
say
hours of sleepaway camp.
Slumber Party Massacre 2 was a big hit for me. I love the sequel. I loved it. So I'll try it.
Molly, who coming into the store would you recommend Sleepaway Camp to?
I've said this before in a previous, and I don't remember which film it was, but I think it's best watched with a group of friends to laugh with and to talk with and have some drinks with.
Perfect. Chris?
Movie night.
Are you a young woman thinking about going to medical school? Well, you should probably think twice and see the terrible story of Aunt
outcome.
Martha.
The terrible outcome.
In
this
all
is a
seriousness,
cautionary tale
this is a cautionary tale. Yes.
for women
No.
seeking employment.
I think honestly, I think anyone who can enjoy a horror film that is, we've spoken to it. It's not exactly. It doesn't really make sense.
Not great. Not great.
Doesn't. But enjoy for what it is. Laugh at it. It's got good kills. It's got a lot of positives to it. It's got great summer vibes to it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
summer camp,
Sure.
the summer camp is awesome. Like
Mhm.
like it feels like a unique experience, more so even than like last week watching The Burning. I think it's even it's definitely a step up from that.
Oh, it's a step. I was thinking that this camp is a step up from the
Wait,
Burning.
this is a step
sure.
up?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
I did hear some of The Burning, and I think just from that I have to agree. Yeah.
So I'd recommend I think you're open-minded slasher wanting a summer vibe. Mickey
Okay.
or Michelangelo?
Yeah, I'll go. Are you a fan of James Earl Jones?
Hell yeah.
Then you got to see his dad. No,
For 90
perfect
seconds.
in the standout role. No, I am going to say, if you come into the store and you are like Mr. F-13, Mr. I love a good slasher, I know so much about it, and you have not seen Sleepaway Camp, it has to be in your lexicon. It has to be something that you can say you've seen. I think it's one of those quintessential films if you're a fan of that subgenre of horror, right? It's like, big fan of slashers. You don't think? This is my recommendation, but yeah, it's and I said you're also not a big slasher
It's
fan.
also not my turn.
But if you're a fan of slasher, I think this is one that you have to watch. I think it ranks up in some of the tops of slasher films. So am I saying it's as good as a Halloween or an F-13, the original F-13? No, but it's definitely something you should watch. So there you go, slasher fans. Put it in there if you haven't watched it yet. Michelangelo, I'm sure you have something to say.
He probably got something to say about it.
Oh, here we go. I got something to say.
So everybody grab a drink, use the bathroom, and then come back and listen to what Michelangelo has to say. He has so many papers. He has so many papers.
So many, and more over here, and I got some.
Oh my God.
Over there. Okay, I think this is just my opinion. Despite being a misguided, insensitive, misinformed, ignorant, xenophobic, tactless story, it is very, very creepy, and it's very, very compelling and entertaining. And to this day, the ending still gives me goosebumps every time I see it. It sincerely scares the shit out of me, the images in the last part of this film. I think it unfortunately for me, it's a movie you laugh at and not with, which is typically something I don't necessarily enjoy. I prefer to celebrate. But if you haven't seen it, it's just, if you haven't seen this, you have to see it. It's like The Room, it's like Miami Connection, it's like The Last Samurai, Samurai Cop. It's something you have to see, and if you are going to see it, you must be seen with friends. This is a movie that should be bringing people together to laugh and have a good time and have a couple of drinks. It shouldn't be taken too seriously. Despite which is
2
what
hours.
I've done. That's what I've done tonight, is I've taken it too seriously, because I'm a fucking psycho. But yeah, I think it's required viewing for slasher fans for sure, but not necessarily my personal cup of tea.
I think I said the same thing you did, just much shorter and less eloquent.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna deter from you guys. See it alone. See it with no one around
No,
you.
no, shut up. Somebody
In a
mute him.
darkened
Mute,
room,
mute.
lock
You're on
the
mute.
door.
You're on mute.
Get naked.
Wow, Molly got in here quick. She's like already beating up on Chris. Man, this is
I
like.
like it. Okay, we should stop now.
All right, stop me now.
She's a real carpenter's dream. The light is a board and needs a screw. No, fuck off!